by the Ducks of Oregon. A resounding win in the Rose Bowl over Florida State has put them in the national championship game. And now we'll meet the other half. Winners of 11 straight, champions of the Big Ten, Ohio State, and here come the Buckeyes. A meeting tonight of two of not only our era's best coaches, but maybe two of the best of all time. Nick Saban won his first title at LSU, 3 in the last 5 years in Tuscaloosa. And Urban Meyer, 2 wins in national title games for the Florida Gators. Head-to-head, they've been there before, too. 2008 SEC championship game, #1 Alabama, #2 Florida. Tim Tebow and the Gators won it 31-20. 2009 SEC title game, #1 Florida, #2 Alabama, and the Tide took that one 32-13. And the 2010 regular season game, #1 Alabama, #7 Florida, and Nick Saban's Crimson Tide won that one 31-6. And now, from Tuscaloosa, winners of 8 in a row, champions of the SEC, the #1 team in the country, the Crimson Tide of Alabama. This has been the Nissan pregame rush. And we're about to get a rush, everybody. Welcome to New Orleans. Happy New Year. Brad Nussler with Todd Blackledge. Partner, we saw Ohio State earlier in the year lose their only game. They come in 12-1. From that point on, they haven't lost, and it's remarkable how they've done it with their quarterback situation.
Really remarkable. Consider this. It starts out, Braxton Miller's the 2-time Big Ten Player of the Year. They lose him to a shoulder injury before the season even starts. So right out of the gate, they've got to make some radical changes. So in steps redshirt freshman J.T. Barrett, and all he does is run and pass his way to over 3,700 yards and a Big Ten record 45 touchdowns. Third man up, Cardale Jones. Biggest of all the quarterbacks at 6'5", 250, and the best passer, 257 yards and 3 touchdowns in his only start, the Big Ten championship game. But a different challenge tonight against this Nick Saban-led Alabama defense that's had a month to prepare.
Nick told us yesterday when we were here in the Sugar Bowl last year and got hammered by Oklahoma, they said Alabama was done. Yeah. When we lost to Ole Miss in the regular season, they said Alabama was done. I don't know who they are, but they were wrong. And a lot of people were wrong about their quarterback
Absolutely.
as well.
One of the great stories of college football this year, Blake Sims, the senior quarterback. When he was a freshman, they tried to move him to running back. He only had 39 pass attempts coming in this year, and Jake Coker transferred from Florida State, and everybody assumed he'd be the guy. Blake Sims never said a word. He stayed at Alabama. He competed. He won the job. The team rallied around him, and all he did was set a school record for total offense in a single season, and it helps when you have the best receiver in college football to throw to in Amari Cooper. 115 receptions, over 1,600 yards, 14 touchdowns. Keep an eye on number 9 tonight, because Alabama moves him all over the place to find ways to get him the ball.
All right, we're going to find out who's going to get the football first as we go down to the field, and our referee, Len Clark.
Gentlemen, congratulations for being here at the Sugar Bowl. I'd like to introduce All-State spokesman Dennis Hayford. He will flip this coin, and we have heads, tails, heads, and tails. Captain, what is it called? The call is tails.
Good day, guys.
And it is tails. You won the toss.
Defer to the second half.
Ohio State has won the toss, and they defer to the second half. You want to receive? Which goal would you like to defend? That goal or kick that way?
Yeah, kick that way.
Step over here. Alabama's choice this half. They've elected to receive. Good luck, gentlemen. Have a great game.
So it will be the Crimson Tide on offense to start things off. And before we kick it off, we check in third member of our team, as always, Holly Rowe.
Well, Coach, given it is the second start for Ohio State quarterback Cardale Jones, what does your defense need to do to affect him and make him uncomfortable?
Well,
know, I think we got to disguise what we're doing. We obviously got to win up front and try to put some pressure and force them in the pocket a little bit. But I think we got to stop the run, too, so we create some positive down and distances for ourselves so we can affect them.
You get the ball first. What did you see from Blake Sims, your quarterback, today that lets you know he's ready?
I think Blake's ready to play. You know, he's played well for us all year. You know, I try to tell the players before, you know, we got to get rid of the anxiety, just play fast, be aggressive. You know, we want to apply the pressure, not feel it.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Thanks.
So that's Nick Saban on the other side. Urban Meyer,
awesome.
all he's done in his 3 years is win 36 games and lose only 3. 3 straight years of 12 wins. Remarkable job. Took 1 year off to join our business, then got back into coaching after his 2 national championships at Florida. And he's got quite a team. And he said, you know what? Our challenge is, are we good enough?
Yeah.
He thinks they're going to be a better team next year.
Well, he loves how relaxed they were. He loved how his team responded to everything they asked him to do in preparing for this game. But that was the big question. And right away, we'll see one of the things that Ohio State has been great at all season, and that's winning the field position battle with their special teams. One of the best in the country at where they start and where their opponents start in field position.
So Kyle Clinton will tee it up. Scarlet filling the Superdome along with the crimson of the Tide fans of Alabama. Christian Jones and DeAndre White are back deep. The 81st All-State Sugar Bowl from New Orleans. Here we go. Christian Jones 3 yards deep, mishandles it, and now he'll have it down by White. We take a look at our Chick-fil-A impact players for tonight's. Derrick Henry's got to be the man because T.J. Yeldon has been banged up, and he's a pretty good one for a backup. Amari Cooper, we've talked about him, 115 catches. On the other side, we asked Luke Fickell, the defensive coordinator, who are the 2 guys that have to have big games. He told us Joey Bosa and Michael Bennett on that defensive front.
The strength of this Ohio State defense is their front. When Urban Meyer left Florida, came to Ohio State, he knew to build a championship team, it starts with the defensive line. That is what has been separating the SEC from other leagues for the last several years. He's got that kind of defensive line right now at Ohio State.
Henry flanking Blake Sims. They're going to fly sweep it, though, to Amari Cooper. Just one of the many ways they get it in his hands, and a nice run, a pickup of about 5 before he's run out of bounds.
They will put Amari Cooper in a lot of different spots. Lane Kiffin, the offensive coordinator this year, has done a brilliant job of moving Cooper around so that teams can't isolate him and double cover him. And right away, the first play of the game, they flip it to him and let him become a running back.
Now he trots out to the top of your screen as a wide receiver, and Sims on a 2nd down and 5 from the 30. Gives it off to Henry. Only got about a yard, though, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. Alabama #1 in the SEC, #2 in the country in 3rd down conversions.
Nice play by Joey Bosa. Good fundamental play, maintained leverage, shed the block, and fell back in to make a tackle to bring up 3rd down.
3rd down and 3. T.J. Yeldon is in the Alabama backfield, but it's Sims, the throw to Cooper. Got his left hand on it, but that's all. Duran Grant, the captain of the defense, was there defensively.
Duran Grant is the best cover guy in this Ohio State secondary. He's a senior in perfect position and made a nice play on the ball. Read the eyes of Amari Cooper and swept his hand down in there to knock the ball out.
So an Alabama team that had scored 7 touchdowns and 2 field goals in opening drives this season's a 3 and out on their opening possession here tonight. J.K. Scott to punt. It's going to bounce into the hands of Jalen Marshall, who's dropped by Landon Collins immediately. 50-yard punt and nothing on the return. Cardell Jones has one of the best nicknames in college football. 12 gauge.
Well,
sophomore, 6'5", 250.
Yeah, and he can really throw it. Now, when Ohio State beat Michigan State earlier in the year, they came out and 8 of the first 9 plays called were pass plays. I would not be surprised to see if Ohio State comes out throwing a lot on early downs in this ball game as well.
Urban Meyer said we want to be in 2nd down and 4 and 2nd down and 5, not 2nd down and 10. First down here from the 15. Ezekiel Elliott, and he fights for about 4. Let's take a look at tonight's Chick-fil-A impact players going the other way, and Zeke is one of them. Great season, over 1,400 yards rushing. Devin Smith, their long ball threat, he's something special in that wide receiver spot for Ohio State. Ashawn Robinson's got to control the line of scrimmage defensively. You already saw Landon Collins make an impact on the special teams. He's an All-American safety. Jones rolls, fires, kind of a wobbly pass, and it's caught by Evan Spencer.
Incomplete.
Oh, hit the turf.
Incredible effort by Spencer. The ball hung in the air quite a while, and he went up with one hand and tried to snatch it.
I thought we had an Odell Beckham Jr. thing working there for a second. Wow.
No, we couldn't see it from that angle.
Tremendous play on the ball. I'm not 100% sure he didn't catch this time.
Well,
yeah, maybe not. That might be the best replay right there. 3rd down and 6 now for Ohio State. Jones getting some pressure, and he'll run with it. And the big fella can run, and he's got a 1st down and several more yards out across the 30.
Cardale Jones is a capable runner. He's not as good of a runner as Braxton Miller or J.T. Barrett, but in a situation like this, when everything's covered downfield, he does have the ability to run for the 1st down.
And on 3rd and 6, he got 12. And now quickly, it's Marshall out of the backfield, and he's still on his feet. Out to the 44-yard line.
Ohio State using tempo. Tempo historically has given Alabama's defense a little bit of a problem. They're trying to substitute now, get some fresh defensive linemen in.
That was quarterback number 1, quarterback number 2, and quarterback number 3 gives it off. Marshall trying to sweep left this time is dropped by Xavier Dixon, and a loss of 2. And his helmet comes off at the end of the play.
Alabama has a lot of depth at the defensive line position.
So Jalen Marshall's got to go out because his lid came off, so at least 1 play on the sideline for him.
Right now, Ohio State doing a nice job trying to attack the perimeter. The inside of this Alabama defense, very difficult to run against. One of the best in the country, only giving up 88 yards per game.
On a 2nd and 13, just a straight handoff to Ezekiel Elliott trying to get wide right, and he got the corner and a hurdle, and now Elliott off the races down the sideline. 1st and goal, Ohio State.
Great job by the center, Jacoby Bourne. Watch number 50 pull on this play, get a block on the middle linebacker, and again, hard to run inside. Your best opportunity to run is to get to the perimeter, and Elliott does that.
54 yards, 1st and goal, and now Jones with a stiff arm at the 6-yard line.
This was a designed quarterback run. I don't think we're going to see a lot of designed quarterback run calls for Cardale Jones simply because of the depth problem at quarterback right now. But that time, they tried to line up quickly and call his number and hope that the big fella could get it to the end zone. But good defensive positioning by Alabama on that play.
Longest one they've given up this year was the one that got them to this point by Ezekiel Elliott, 54 yards. 2nd down and goal.
And goal,
the ball just shaded outside the 5.
Goal-to-go defense. Alabama has been outstanding this year.
They've only given up 3 rushing touchdowns all season. Jones in the gun, Marshall on the move, and we're going to take a timeout here. Ohio State doesn't want to blow an opportunity.
Timeout, Ohio State.
Urban Meyer takes the timeout. We'll take it along with him. 11:46 remaining. Ohio State here in the 1st quarter, threatening. Back of the All-State Sugar Bowl, Ohio State down at the 5-yard line. Alabama's defense, you talked about them, Todd.
Yeah, outstanding in goal-to-go situations. Very difficult to run on. Minus 16 yards and 25 opponent rushes. I think that's why Ohio State called timeout. You said it. They don't want to waste a play You've got to have the right play called against this Alabama defense in this part of the field.
8th play of the drive coming up. 6 have been runs, only 1 pass. They fake it to Marshall. Jones pumps once, sidearms it, incomplete, intended for Evan Spencer. And it'll be 3rd and goal.
Alabama was not fooled by the play action. They had plenty of crimson jerseys around the intended receiver, Spencer. Good discipline on the back end of the Alabama defense that time.
One of the top 15 teams in the country scoring in the red zone, going against the best in the business. Something's going to give right here.
This is where you have to be alert for Cardell Jones as a runner with that big body as well.
3rd down and goal, and he's going to have to backpedal and fire it as far as he can into the stands, and they'll have to settle for a field goal attempt.
Good pressure by Alabama that time. It came primarily from Ryan Anderson, number 7, working on the right tackle, Darryl Baldwin. And Cardell Jones did the smart thing. Don't take ourselves out of a scoring situation here. Throw it away, and let's set up the field goal.
Nurnberger, 11 of 18 on the year. This would be a 22-yard field goal attempt to try to put the Buckeyes on the board first. Up and good. So Ohio State scores first. 11:32 remaining first quarter. I'd say that's a win for the Alabama defense, though, to hold the Buckeyes to 3. Well, an 80-yard drive and 10 plays, but Ohio State only got 3. There's J.T. Barrett sitting right behind Cordell Jones. J.T. a sensational season before breaking his ankle. Talked to him yesterday. He's got one of those little cart deals. I guess he's sitting on it right now. And got a bone stimulator also on the side of his cast. And he'll be back good as new for next year. But the question will be who will be the quarterback next year.
There's the other one.
Yeah.
Not a bad one there either.
Yeah, 2-time MVP of the Big Ten.
Everybody should have such a problem, I guess, huh?
Yep. Clinton's kick. Christian Jones won't mishandle this one. Brings it from 2 yards deep, and he goes down in a heap at the 12-yard line. Only a 12-yard return. Corey Smith. Nice play on the special teams as we look back at Alabama's season. 5th-year senior Blake Sims waited his time, named the starter over Jake Coker, and the Tide went to 4-0 on the year, then lost at Ole Miss and dropped to number 7 in the AP poll. They won the next 8 games, back up to number 1 in our college football rankings. Won the SEC championship game over Missouri 42-13. Sims 262 yards and a couple of touchdowns in that one.
Well, and I think one of the stories right now for Alabama is that this is the 2nd series and still no TJ Yeldon. Now, Derrick Henry is a very capable back and has had a great bowl preparation, but the absence of Yeldon, a big factor for Alabama.
He was in for that one play on 3rd down, but never touched the ball, and Sims fires far side, complete. Even though there's 2 guys out there, you hear the chants of Coop for Amari Cooper, a pickup of 6. There's TJ.
Good first down play. TJ Yeldon, I mean, when you talk about the combination of these 2 guys, both physical backs, Yeldon at 220, Derrick Henry at 240, and they wear you down during the course of a game when both of them are healthy.
And here is Derrick Henry, tripped up and dropped for a loss of a yard.
See, this is what Ohio State's defensive front needs to do. Get penetration and use their athleticism. Michael Bennett is the guy who got penetration. He didn't get the tackle, but he was able to force Henry to try to bounce that outside. They're not as big as the Alabama offensive line, but they're more athletic.
So here's another 3rd down for the Tide. Remember, they were 3 and out on their first one. That's what the Ohio State fans are looking for here. Yeldon in there with Sims. Heavy pressure up the middle. Passes well overthrown for the intended receiver Cooper, and it's another punting situation coming up for Alabama.
Well, that time they had the matchup that they wanted with Cooper working on the freshman Eli Apple, but that was just a clearly overthrown pass by Blake Sims in another punt situation.
So Alabama failed on a 3rd and 3 and then a 3rd and 5. So here in 4th down is J.K. Scott again, the true freshman, who's had a whale of a season punting for Alabama. Oh, and he got all of this baby.
Wow.
Jalen Marshall. And it bounces. He lost it, I think, in the lights, and now he's going to pick it up on a hop at the 12. Marshall looking for some help over there. Oh! And a helmet releasing hit on special teams by Ron Tanner. That's the second time that helmet's come off, and I think I know the reason for this one.
Well, J.K. Scott has been a weapon for Alabama. That's his 19th punt of over 50 yards. Jalen Marshall really underestimated the leg of J.K. Scott, and what looked like was going to be excellent field position turned out to be very, very average field position because of the punt of J.K. Scott.
His longest punt of the year, 73 yards. And Ohio State starting field position. They have won a lot of battles and a lot of games because of winning the field position. Those hidden yards that are so important when you add it all up. Elliott, who had the long run earlier, has got another good one here, but the ball is out, and Alabama's got it. And it's Landon Collins. Eddie Jackson with the hit. Collins with a recovery.
Well, Ezekiel Elliott was looking at the linebacker, Trey DePriest. Watch his eyes go inside. He's trying to stiff arm DePriest, and he doesn't feel Eddie Jackson coming from the backside. And that's who pokes the ball out. It was going to be a positive run, another good run for Ohio State against this Alabama defense, and Eddie Jackson forces the ball out.
Ledge, that's Ohio State's offense's first turnover in their last 39 possessions. That goes back to the Indiana game the week before Thanksgiving. Let's see if the Tide can capitalize. And it's Sims with a run straight up the middle. Got about 8, dragging Adolphus Washington with him.
Nice read by Blake Sims on the keep. Blake Sims ran for about 300 yards this season. And that's just to keep the defense honest, too. You have to prepare for that. You have to defend it.
And now it's big Derrick Henry rumbling down the sideline. Touchdown.
What a block by the left side. The true freshman, Cam Robinson, the left tackle, with an outstanding block. Watch number 74. Takes Steve Miller completely out of the hole, and Derrick Henry shows you the burst for a big man that is pretty special.
Adam Griffith in for the point after. (7-3) Alabama. Derrick Henry, nothing narrow about that guy.
No, I'll tell you, and we knew he had a great preparation for this bowl game. When Yeldon was hurt late in the year, they sat him out for the Western Carolina game. They started Derrick Henry, and they said he didn't respond very well as a starter. But he did the following week against Auburn and the SEC championship game against Missouri, and he's off to a good start tonight.
Griffith's kickoff, deep and non-returnable. We talked about the combination, and it seems like Nick Saban at Alabama's always had 2 great backs at the same time, and no exception here. There's their numbers. Henry 5.7 a carry, and each with 10 touchdowns, and now, well, 11 for Derrick Henry after that 25-yard romp a couple of minutes ago.
You know, I thought coming into the game, Brad, one of the advantages that Ohio State might have was they've been better with the turnover game. They were +9 coming into the game. Alabama -1 on turnover ratio. First turnover of the game goes to Ohio State, and Alabama capitalizes.
And ask Florida State how big that can be. They gave up 34 today, points off turnovers. Elliott was at a big run, but a fumble. Carrying it in his right hand, but still got the first down.
But you see the philosophy for Ohio State. A lot of people think that Ohio State or Big Ten teams don't have the speed that they have in the SEC. Ohio State has SEC speed. Ezekiel Elliott can run as fast as any back in the SEC, and they're attacking the perimeter. The strength of the Alabama defense is if you try to run inside. Ohio State says, we're going to run this outside and make these big guys run and get tired. Noah Brown in as a fullback. Throws
thrown away by Cordell Jones as we check in with Holly.
Well, guys, on that last play, I watched Alabama linebacker Denzel Duvall really trying to chase Ezekiel Elliott, but he couldn't get there. Keep in mind, he is very banged up. Kirby Smart, the defensive coordinator for the Crimson Tide, saying, hey, if we can get 15 to 20 plays out of Denzel, that will be fantastic. But he is not 100%. You saw it on that speed trying to catch Elliott.
Louisiana native, a big one. They got some big linebackers and always have had. Second down and 10. Elliott straight up the middle. Not much there.
Yeah, see, that's where it's hard to run because of how big they are on the inside. They have big defensive linemen, and they have lots of them. And their two inside linebackers are both over 250 pounds. But you have to do that every so often just to keep them honest.
Urban told us yesterday there are tree stumps in there.
Yeah.
Kirby Smart, defensive coordinator, one of the best around at what he does. Third down and 8. Jones hasn't connected yet in this first quarter. Not going to get a chance here either, but he's going to run for it, and he's got the first down and quite a bit more. 20 yards, Cordell Jones.
Well, when you bring pressure, if you don't get home, you leave yourself vulnerable to this. Nice move. He just faked out number 93, Jonathan Allen, who was unblocked. And you see the running ability straight ahead of Cordell Jones.
He might not want to hurdle somebody at the end of a 20-yard run, though. They don't want to have to go to a backup quarterback number 4.
I think they need to challenge deep at some point here with Devin Smith.
The step in, the step back, and the throw on the sideline is incomplete again, intended for Jalen Marshall.
See, right now, what Alabama is trying to do is defend the run with two safeties. That makes them stronger in the pass coverage. If Ohio State is able to run successfully and force Alabama to bring a safety up into the run defense, then they'll have openings down the field to throw the football. See, right now, Ohio State has one safety, and Ohio State is changing the play at the line of scrimmage.
3 wideouts, including Elliott, the running back, in a slot to the bottom of your screen. They have yet to hook up with Devin Smith, their long ball man. It's going to be a run all the way here. Jones in trouble. Down he goes about at the line of scrimmage. He maybe got a half yard. Landon Collins showing why he's an All-American as he comes up to make the hit.
Tom Herman, the offensive coordinator, right there with the glasses, the new head coach at Houston, will join his that job when his duties here at Ohio State are done, whether it's after tonight or after next week.
Third and long situation now here at the 41-yard line.
2 times on third down, Cordell Jones has scrambled for a first down. Let's see if Alabama doesn't drop more guys.
They're going to bring an extra one, including Collins, and the ball is long and caught by Devin Smith. All he does is catch long passes.
He is as good of a deep ball receiver as I've seen in college football. He judges the ball. There were 2 defenders. Eddie Jackson and Jabril Washington were there, and he ran by 2. That's just poor fundamental defense, particularly for the safety, Washington, to let somebody run by you on the back end of the defense. But Devin Smith judges the deep ball and catches the deep ball as well as anybody I've seen.
He's got 29 career touchdown catches. They average 37.6 yards. And 9 touchdowns on passes of 20-plus yards. Here's another one. They're taking a look at this, but he got his right foot in before he skipped out of bounds at the 1-yard line.
Well, and this has been the Achilles heel of the Alabama defense this year. As good as they've been against the run, they have had major problems defending the deep ball. That's the 40th completion of 20 yards or more against this Alabama defense. Auburn burned them bad in the Iron Bowl a couple weeks ago by just throwing the ball down the field and letting those receivers go after it. And that's what Devin Smith does as well as anybody.
I don't know what, if any, effect it would have had on that ledge, but Landon Collins came on a blitz, so you're one safety short right there on that pass. There's what Todd's talking about. Well, Cordell Jones on third down on this drive. On 3rd and 8, he ran for 12. On 3rd and 9, he hooked up with Devin Smith for 40. And so here the Buckeyes are knocking on the door. 1st and goal at the 1. Empty backfield. Alabama was a man short. They hustled DJ Petway out there. This might be Cordell Jones all the way on a run. Whoops. Picked up his own fumble. Going to be dropped, though, back at the 9-yard line by Collins.
Yeah, that's just the first things first. Cardell's number was called, but he just took off before he secured the snap. It was not a bad snap. It was just Cordell Jones in too big of a hurry to try to run it into the end zone. And again, this goal-to-go defense for Alabama comes up with a negative yardage play.
Landon Collins came in with 91 tackles to lead Alabama in that department, and he's leading them in that department here in the first quarter. We mentioned this earlier. They've only given up 3 rushing touchdowns this year. This is more of a passing situation probably for the Buckeyes back at the 9-yard line. Jones has all day, and now fires sidearmed it incomplete. It is complete to Van Ness, the tight end, and it'll be 3rd and goal. Trying to regain the lead. The Buckeyes trailing 7-3. And again, Alabama changing up its defensive personnel. Ohio State's offense already waiting at the line of scrimmage, which is just inside the 4-yard line.
Alabama going to more of a nickel defense. Pass rushers instead of run stoppers.
Jones. Quick drop, quick throw, incomplete. It was Marshall, the intended receiver, and it was broken up by Nick Perry.
Well, he had him. Marshall had a little bit of separation on this out route. Pretty well thrown ball. It was hard. Had some mustard on it for a short throw, but a catchable pass. And again, you go back to the mishandled snap when they were right about the 1-yard line that set them back. And now they have to settle for another field goal attempt.
Nurnberger had a 22-yarder earlier in the quarter. This one will be from 21. And from the right hash. Trying to make it a 1-point game. Nurnberger does with 5:18 remaining in the first quarter. But again, Alabama's defense dug in when they had to and forced the field goal.
You just don't know how many opportunities you're going to get in a game like this where you have opportunities to score touchdowns, and they had to settle for field goals twice.
And again, Cordell Jones with that mishandled snap on 1st and goal at the 1 was the main culprit in why they only got 3 last time. Christian Jones will field this kick at the goal line. And out to the 20, maybe the 21 for him.
Well, Alabama has a 1-point lead thanks to the touchdown run by Derrick Henry. And as we take a look back in this play, as Amari Cooper runs his man off on the perimeter, great blocks on the edge by the left tackle Cam Robinson, the left guard Ari Kouanjo. Cam Robinson, number 74, 6'6", 323-pound true freshman. The first true freshman to start at left tackle for Alabama since former first-round pick Andre Smith did it back in 2006, and he has been an outstanding player in his first year at that position.
Lane Kiffin said to us yesterday, you want to know what a future first-round NFL draft choice looks like? Look at him. Here's Derrick Henry on the pitch. Broke 1 tackle and out of bounds.
That was a late hit. That was a late hit. That was clearly a tackle in the white area.
So he's going to get about 12 plus 15. Land Clark, our referee.
After the play, personal foul, late hit, defense number 13. A 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the play with an automatic first down.
Redshirt freshman Eli Apple on the corner with the late hit.
Little fake inside, and then again, the speed of this guy at 241 pounds is pretty remarkable to get to the edge of the defense.
First penalty of the game, and with the penalty tacked on, Alabama's got it all the way out of the 47-yard line. Henry, big hole on the left side, cuts it back to the 45, a pickup of about 8 more.
They're running away from Joey Bosa and running at Steve Miller, the other defensive end, and running to the big left tackle, true freshman Cam Robinson.
Well, Steve Miller had to take over that spot from another one of the guys that would have been a big-time defensive lineman, Noah Spence, who was suspended. incomplete pass here. It'll bring up 3rd down and 2.
I think that ball might have been tipped. Michael Bennett got quick pressure and got his hands up in the way of that throw. I think he might have gotten a piece of it.
Bennett had a huge game in the Big Ten championship win over Wisconsin. 4 tackles for loss, a couple of sacks, a couple of forced fumbles. He's that kind of disruptor. The senior, one of the captains out of Centerville, Ohio.
Well, this is where that defensive line needs to make a play. Bosa, the All-American. Michael Bennett has shown up already. Adolphus Washington, number 92, has had a great second half of the season as well. Time for one of those guys to make a play.
Alabama's going to take a timeout.
Alabama.
On a 3rd down and 2.
Seconds and late.
Third down and 2. Yeldon. PJ's got the first down at the 35.
Well, they called the play on the sideline. They quickly broke the huddle and snapped the ball quickly and caught the Ohio State defense a little out of position. And TJ Yeldon easily converts it into a first down.
They'll spot it at the 36 and move the sticks there with just under 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
This might be play action Amari Cooper time right here.
Henry, boy, planted his foot and cut back inside the 30-yard line. 7 yards more.
Well, they have found what they like on that side, and you always have the ability of the quarterback to read that and keep it off that same action if they overplay it to the outside.
Henry straight up the middle, diving for what appears to be the first down. Diving right over Joey Bosa.
One of the guys that's really critical for this Alabama offensive line is their center, Ryan Kelly. Very valuable member, makes all the protection calls, all the blocking calls. When he got hurt in the Ole Miss game, it really affected them. Not only in that game that they lost, but the following week against Arkansas, they played without him, and it was probably their worst offensive performance of the season.
Sims up to the line and now backs out. Amari Cooper's in the backfield with him on first down. Sims heavy pressure, throws far side, complete, and it's Fowler, the fullback, very close to another first down.
See, by putting Amari Cooper in the backfield, you know he's going to attract a lot of attention. He stayed inside, and the defense focused on him, and they let Justin Fowler alone on the outside. Cooper went in motion out of the backfield, and Fowler was wide open on the sideline.
So Alabama back in the red zone with a first down at the Buckeye 15. And that's not too good.
TJ Yeldon back in the ball game.
They fake the pitch to him. Sims on a bootleg. Throws on the run. Touchdown, Amari Cooper.
Wow, he just turned Duran Grant around. Just completely turned him around. He faked inside, and watch number 12 Grant get just all twisted up. And that's an easy throw and catch for Blake Sims to the best wide receiver in college football.
15th touchdown reception of the year for Cooper. And for Blake Sims, touchdown pass number 27. Extra point is right down the middle. 79-yard drive in a little over 3 minutes. And this was the capper.
Blake Sims has the ability to move, to be a running threat, and to throw on the run. Nice little misdirection off the bootleg. And Blake Sims finds his favorite target.
Favorite by quite a bit,
Yeah.
as a matter of fact. Not that DeAndrew White's not a good one, but he's only got 37.
Yeah.
And that was number 118 right there on the touchdown catch.
And that is amazing because, you know, everybody in the building over the last half of the season knows you're going to throw the ball to Amari Cooper. But to Lane Kiffin's credit, they did a great job of moving him around and finding different ways to get him the ball. And to Amari Cooper's credit, his smarts and his football intelligence to know how to play in all those different positions. A lot of receivers can't do that. It was never a problem for Amari Cooper to learn different positions within Lane Kiffin's passing game.
Curtis Samuel waiting back deep for Ohio State, and he'll get a shot at this one from the 2-yard line. Whoa. Only about a 10-yard return. Great coverage down there. Darius Stewart on the special teams in on the stop. Well, celebrating its 10th year sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Net, Allstate makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kicked. And since 2005, Allstate's contributed more than $3.8 million in scholarship funds. Not good starting field position here for Ohio State again.
And again, Ohio State coming into this game, one of the best in the country, starting on their own 35-yard line. That's what they average. But the Alabama kick coverage teams have been outstanding so far in the ball game.
Marshall trying to get wide with it. He's not going to get there thanks to Eddie Jackson. Only a 2-yard gain.
Ohio State continuing to try to attack the perimeter of this Alabama defense. That time, very well played by Eddie Jackson. You have to maintain leverage on the football and not let them get outside of that outside defender. Eddie Jackson, very fundamentally sound on that play.
Pistol set here with Elliott behind Cardell Jones. He fakes it to him. Runs out of time. He's got to get rid of it. Might be a safety. No signal yet.
Oh, they're going to. Wow. They're saying his quarterback progress was stopped. Cardell Jones got stuck there. He didn't know if he should throw it away. He doesn't want to make a mistake. Xavier Dixon, the best pass rusher, just manhandled the right guard, Billy Price, and got to the quarterback.
I don't know where his progress was stopped. He was progressing right into the end zone.
Well, he pulled him back into the end zone.
So they start at the 2-yard line, and it's Elliott straight up the middle. And now they've got a first down and some room to work. Bill Lamagna is our rules expert. Nick Saban's going crazy on the sideline. Bill?
I think we've got a good call. That defender pulled him back from the field of play into the end zone. Excellent spot by the wing official.
Now, the fact that Cardell Jones didn't want to throw the ball away almost created a bigger problem. But credit the pass rush of Xavier Dixon getting there against Billy Price.
Well, the quarterback making only his second start as a Buckeye can talk things over on the sideline with a break here because we've come to the end of the first quarter. Welcome back to the All-State Sugar Bowl here in New Orleans. Just about set to start the second quarter. Number 1 Alabama with a 14-6 lead. Brad Nessler, Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe, and a bunch of those kind of folks along with us. That's houndstooth to the max right there. Alabama, a couple of touchdowns. One on the ground by Derrick Henry. One on a Blake Sims to Amari Cooper touchdown pass. Cameron Johnston's got a punt from near his own goal line. Christian Jones has had some big punt returns and kickoff returns over his career for Alabama. He's back deep. And he's going to have a play on this one at around the 30-yard line. Reversing his field. Not anybody over there to block for him, though. And he gets about 6 on the return before he's run out of bounds by Cam Williams.
Well, pretty good return by Christian Jones, but I want to go back to the opening kickoff. And this could have been a disastrous play for Christian Jones because he touched it. This was a live ball. That's why there's no official signal. And if it weren't for the alertness of DeAndrew White to cover this ball, if Ohio State would have fallen on that, the game would have started with an Ohio State touchdown. And we've already seen how difficult Ohio State has had trying to get a touchdown against this Alabama defense. That could have been a critical mistake to start the game for Alabama.
So now the Tide at the 39-yard line. 2 tight ends in there, and Henry behind Sims. Amari Cooper in motion. They're going to throw it to him. And a shoestring catch at the 45-yard line.
That's the matchup that they want against the redshirt freshman Eli Apple, the field corner for Ohio State. He's going to be an outstanding player. 6'1", 198 pounds, out of New Jersey. But again, Amari Cooper, just so difficult to defend. He has great speed, size, and strength.
Now Cooper's in the slot. They're going to throw it to him again out there, looking for a blocker. Puts his hand down, and he's dropped by Darren Lee, the outside linebacker. Nice play in the open field.
And you see that tackling technique. One of the things Ohio State has really tried to adapt kind of comes from Pete Carroll and the Seattle Seahawks. Luke Fickell talked about the rugby tackling style. Aim for the hip, head behind, wrap and roll, and that's it to perfection right there.
3rd down and 3. TJ Yeldon back in there. He'll get the carry, and he's not going to get the first down. Bosa was there first, and Curtis Grant, the middle linebacker, who made the hit. And it's 4th down.
Excellent job. Good penetration first by Bennett. He occupied the guards block, Leon Brown, and then Bosa was able to get across the line of scrimmage as well. This defensive front is the strength of the Ohio State defense, and they forced a critical 4th down play right there.
Jalen Marshall will wait on this punt coming up from J.K. Scott, who already has a 73-yarder to his credit tonight. Right now, he'd just like to knock one out of bounds at about the 5 and keep it out of the hands of Jalen Marshall.
He is a tall drink of water, too. I was checking him out before the game on the field. He is long and lanky.
Play game. Offense number 15.
Yeah, they're going to give him a little more room to work.
4th down.
6'4" and about 185 pounds of water.
Interesting what just happened there. Because of that penalty, which I think Alabama's okay with, Ohio State had a safe punt, had their defense on the field. Now that they back them up 5 more yards, they put their punt return team on.
Fair catch, taken around the 5. Nice kick. Nothing else Marshall could do about it. 53-yarder with great hang time. Ohio State hoping to play for another national championship. In 42, they went 9-1, didn't attend a bowl game, but were number 1. 54, 10-0, beat USC in the Rose. 57, 9-1, beat Oregon in the Rose Bowl. Finished 10-0 and undefeated, and defeated USC in the Rose Bowl. And then 2002, 14-0, and beat Miami in the Fiesta Bowl. Urban Meyer doesn't have a national championship as the coach of Ohio State, but has 2 when he was in Gainesville and Florida. And he just wants to get back in the big picture, which is January 12th in Arlington. One of these teams will meet Oregon for the national championship. Ezekiel Elliott's having a great game so far, and he's got 9 more yards. Yeah. He's over 100 already.
Well, the last running back to go for over 100 against this Alabama defense was Trey Mason in the Iron Bowl in 2013. Nobody this season until now in Ezekiel Elliott.
He's got 109. Here's another carry. Might got 1 more yard out of it, maybe.
Jalen Marshall that time running it. Ohio State, you know, for the problems they've had in the goal line situations, this running game has been effective. Mostly outside on the perimeter, stretching out this Alabama defense, making those big guys run.
And the biggest one, of course, was the 54-yarder by Elliott earlier in the game.
What that does is it sets up play action, and Ohio State loves deep crossing routes on play action.
Jones straight drop here. Pressure coming. Again, he retreats near his own goal line. Throws, and it was caught for about a 1-yard gain by Michael Thomas. He comes in as their leading receiver.
Well, you see why Alabama wanted to get 15 or 20 plays out of Denzel Duvall. Even though he's not 100%, he is an outstanding pass rusher as a stand-up defensive end. He's a very versatile guy, and he was the guy that forced Cardell Jones to leave the pocket on that play.
They completed the pass, but no gain on it, so it's 2nd down and 10. Empty backfield for Cardell Jones. 5-man rushing, and 1 got a hand on it. Nice pressure. Might have been A'Shawn Robinson.
Yeah, A'Shawn Robinson ran right through Billy Price, the left guard. They are big and physical up front. Watch 96 run right through 54 and get a hand on the football.
So now it's 3rd down and 10.
This is dangerous territory right here for Cardale Jones. He has to be very smart with the football.
3 receivers to his left.
This is where Alabama creates confusion.
Going to go back across the middle and a strike to Michael Thomas. 1st down.
Beautiful read by Cardale Jones. He looked left. He came back to the opposite side to a single receiver. There was a corner blitz, and a nice job by Michael Thomas sitting into that soft area of the defense and giving a target to his quarterback.
On 3rd and 10, he got 14 on the completion.
And you see the arm strength and the throwing ability of Cardale Jones. At 6'5", 250, he can see over the defense, and even if there's bodies around him, he can step into it and make good, solid throws down the field.
Buckeyes 1st down at their own 29. Elliott up the middle. Xavier Dixon and Ashawn Robinson again close the door after pickup of a couple. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8, and we're approaching 10.5 minutes remaining 2nd quarter.
Really important drive right here for Ohio State, if nothing else, to flip the field. We talked about how they've had a field position edge and that was a big key to their success. The average starting field position tonight in 5 possessions was their own 15-yard line. So getting that 1st down and moving the ball out a little bit is huge for them right now.
7th play of the drive. Here's the play action and a throw that's intercepted. Picked off by Cyrus Jones, coming the other way with a convoy. Jones knocked out of bounds at the 15, and the Tide has got it back.
An obvious miscommunication between Cardale and his intended receiver, Devin Smith. Devin Smith never turned to look for the ball. And Cyrus Jones read it the whole way. Watch Devin Smith. His head is down. He's running down the field. Cyrus Jones's eyes are back at the quarterback. And he makes a play on the ball, and Devin Smith didn't even know it was thrown.
3rd interception of the year by number 5. And a 32-yard return. So Alabama will set up shop at the Buckeye 15-yard line. Derrick Henry, as you look behind him in the backfield with Sims.
2 tight ends, power set.
Sims flushed out of the pocket, throws to the sideline, and completed it down around the 11 to his tight end Vogler.
Very nice poise by Blake Sims that time. Joey Bosa coming on pressure, and Blake Sims just kept drifting back a little bit to buy some time and then complete the pass to Vogler.
Remember, 1 turnover in their own territory already cost them 7 points. Could happen that they're going to add to it here. As Alabama on 2nd and 6, just a little lob out to Vogler. He had to catch it twice. He's going to be short of the 1st down by about a yard. Nice concentration by Vogler to stay with it. Looked like he was going to drop it. Juggled it and kept possession, but it's 3rd down and a yard.
Ohio State got a stop on the last 3rd down and short situation.
Last 16 possessions, they've given up 12 touchdowns. They don't want to bend and let the Tide get a quick one here. They're up to the line in a hurry, and it's Yeldon. And I don't think he got there. Nice play by the Buckeye defense. Lee and Perry, the linebackers.
Well, it starts up front. Good penetration by Michael Bennett again. He doesn't get credit for the tackle, but his ability to take up 2 blockers and stay in the hole forced TJ Yeldon wide and brought up 4th down.
Alabama's 8 out of 11 on 4th down conversions this year. They're going for one right here. Huge play for both teams. Yeldon's a tailback. He'll get the call and the 1st down. 1st and goal, Alabama.
See, that time Ohio State did not get penetration, and that enabled TJ Yeldon to get a full head of steam hitting up into the line of scrimmage. See, no white shirts across that line of scrimmage, and an easy conversion for TJ Yeldon. short yardage offense and defense is all about leverage. The low man wins. That time, Alabama was the winner.
First and goal just outside the 1. It's Yeldon again, and he'll walk in. Touchdown, Alabama. Costly turnovers by Ohio State.
Nice job by the tight end Vogler blocking on Joey Bosa on that play. He might have got away with a little bit of a hold on the outside of the jersey, but he was able to keep Bosa inside, and Yeldon was able to bounce outside for the touchdown.
Griffith's extra point is good. 8:07 remaining in the first half. Nice trip to Crescent City. Probably a few headaches in that section this morning. We do wish you a happy new year. Curtis Samuel from around the goal line. Whoa! Hello. Reuben Foster.
Their kick coverage has been outstanding so far. There is a flag down.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Kicking team number 21. Toss Connie is first in the game. A 15-yard penalty. First down.
That's Maurice Smith, number 21. Celebrating the hit by Reuben Foster, I guess. But this was a serious hit. High kickoff. Good disciplined coverage. There's the hit by Foster.
I didn't see.
And there's the taunt. No, he stood right over top of him as he was on the ground. There's the hit. Good clean hit. And then after this, there's Maurice Smith standing over top of him.
Okay, good call.
That's a good call.
Yep. Best starting field position for Ohio State because of the penalty. They work from the 29 with 8 minutes, 2 seconds remaining till halftime. Elliott. A tough yard. That's about it.
You know, when we talked to Urban Meyer the other day, he said when talking about Alabama, you put on film, you say, where's a weakness? You're always looking for weakness. There are none with Alabama. So when that's the case, you cannot help a team like that. And Ohio State has helped them. They've turned the ball over twice. They've not converted when they've gotten the ball inside the 5-yard line when they could have scored touchdowns. And it's hard to beat a complete team like Alabama when you help them.
Flags are down as Elliott's going to go down at the line of scrimmage. Reggie Ragland and DJ Petway out to make the hit.
One of the things that's impressive to me about this Alabama defense and their defensive front is the depth. They have 8 to 10 guys that they rotate through those defensive down 3 or 4 guys. And they all kind of look the same.
Offense, too many players in the backfield. That penalty's declined. Third down.
And of course, Nick Saban declines a penalty because there was no gain on the play, so they'll take the down instead, and it's third down and long. Cardell Jones needs to be on target on this third down and 10. If he can get the pass away. And he is on target to Marshall, who spins his way across the 50 to the 45.
Well, nice job of hanging in the pocket because this is pretty good pressure and it's collapsing around him. But Cardell does a nice job of staying in there and finding Marshall on the deep crossing route.
Pickup of 26. So Ohio State back in Alabama territory. They've got 2 timeouts remaining. Plenty of time to work here at the 45 of Alabama. Whoops. Elliott took a step forward.
Yeah. Again.
He lost his balance just preparing for the play to start.
5-yard penalty. Still first down.
This is the area of the field where Urban Meyer and Tom Herman like to take deep shots down the field. Once they get inside the 50, now that penalty backs them up to the 50. But this is still the area where they like to try to attack. Devin Smith, their deep threat guy, is down here at the bottom of the screen.
On 1st and 15, empty backfield, pump fake by Jones, throws off his back foot, but he completed it. Very short gain. Actually got 6 out of it, beg your pardon. Back across the original line of scrimmage to the 44. Michael Thomas on the sideline, their leading receiver.
The guy they might go to here is Marshall in the slot, probably guarded by a safety or a linebacker.
Jones fires far side into coverage, incomplete. Intended for Corey Smith, and a nice play by Eddie Jackson.
Yeah, Eddie Jackson just squatted on that route. You know, what Cardale Jones read there was single coverage on the outside, one-on-one. You expect your guy to win that battle, and Eddie Jackson read the route and was in perfect position to make a play on the ball.
So here's a big 3rd down for Cardale Jones. It's been pretty good on 3rd down. Needs another one here. Deep middle, caught by Marshall inside the 20.
See, when Marshall lines up in the slot, he's going to draw coverage if it's man from a safety or a linebacker. This is zone coverage, and he does a nice job of finding the void in the middle of the Alabama defense.
Couple of 26-yard completions on this drive, and now Jones going to the end zone. Incomplete, intended for Marshall again.
Now, they have hit some plays on 3rd down, Brad, but they have been averaging 3rd and 9 or more in those 3rd down situations. The percentages are not in your favor if that's what you're facing on 3rd down. But Cardale Jones on this drive in particular has hit a couple big ones.
Then in the red zone, it had to settle for field goals. They need a touchdown here. Just over 5 to play in the quarter.
Haven't seen a screen pass, maybe a chance of getting the ball to Ezekiel Elliott by throwing it to him.
2nd and 10 at the 18. Elliott will come in motion. That's where he's going with the football, just as Todd called it. Almost ran out of bounds, but stays in, and he's got it down inside the 10-yard line.
The reason that was such a good call by Tom Herman is because Alabama's defense has done a better job defending Ezekiel Elliott running the football. So find a way to get him the ball where there's not so much traffic around him. Throw it to him.
They're going in a hurry. Only got about a yard on it. They lined up and snapped it. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
Well, this is absolutely critical that Ohio State scores a touchdown here. Not only because they're behind 21-6, but this is the 3rd time they've been in goal-to-go situations, and they've had to settle for field goals on 2 times. They have to find a way to get the ball in the end zone here.
Curtis Samuel in the backfield with Jones, who's calling for it. Rolling to his left, comes back to his right. Nice play by Eddie Jackson on the tight end Van Ett. Oh, I guess he threw a flag. That came late. I guess he was a little bit early.
He made contact. He was making a play on the ball. He got there a little early because the ball was floated. The ball was so soft coming out there.
Defense number 4. The ball was placed in the slot and foul. An automatic touchdown.
Alabama was out of position. They were running a guy on the field late. Watch how this ball is just kind of floated to the backside. And because it's hanging in the air, Eddie Jackson, even though he's making a play on the ball, the contact was early.
Good call. And a 1st down at the spot. So it's right at the 5-yard line.
Curtis Samuel now in for Ezekiel Elliott, their other running back.
Van Ett, the tight end, moves into the slot. Marshall coming around, gets the flip. And that's all he's going to get. Lost a yard, I think. Nice play by Trey DePriest.
The reason that play's tough is because they're running into the short side of the field. It's a sweep, but they're running it into the boundary, and that enabled these linebackers and Trey DePriest to get there and make the play.
Landon Collins is the guy that's down on one knee. All-American safety.
Yep, he's their best player. It looks like his right shoulder he's concerned about or favoring.
He's made a lot of tackles already in this first half. And one of the leaders of their defense, the captain, Louisiana native, as a matter of fact, playing back in his home state. We'll check on him when we come back. 4 minutes remaining first half. Landon Collins is headed to the locker room for Alabama. There he is. We went back 2 plays because the previous play he looked to be favoring his right arm or shoulder, trying to help out on the tackle. So we went back 2 plays, and this is how he was injured.
Yeah, Evan Spencer, who's a 210-pound wide receiver and an excellent blocker. A good clean block, and you could see right away after the contact Landon Collins favoring that right arm or right shoulder.
Jarek Williams will come in to take his spot.
But the story for Ohio State continues to be 8 goal-to-go plays, -5 yards. Only one of them has gained any positive yards. They have to find a way to get this ball in the end zone.
Second down, a goal at the 6. Elliott with Jones in the backfield. Gets the carry, slipped a little bit, keeps his legs moving, and got to at least the 4, maybe inside the 4. And we got an Ohio State player down.
That's Jacoby Boren, the center. Very valuable member of this offensive line as well. This offensive line, when the season started, they replaced 4 starters, and they weren't very good in the beginning of the year. We had the Virginia Tech game. They struggled as a unit. But they have gotten better and better. It's been the same 5 guys that have started the whole season, and they have gotten better as the season has worn on. But Jacoby Boren is the leader, and now in a critical 3rd and goal situation, a new center coming into the ball game, Chase Ferris. They better get some snaps with Cardell Jones right now on the sideline.
Boren in the middle of the pack there. Not the biggest center in the world. Got rolled up on badly from behind. They list him at 6'1". He may not be even that tall, about 285 pounds, but Urban Meyer said, I would go to war with him any day. How tough he is. And he's trying to tough it out right now. And
Pat Elflein, who is the starting right guard, is going to be the center. Chase Ferris, number 57, is going to come in his place at guard, I believe. Elflein doing the smart thing right now, taking some snaps on the side, leading up to this critical 3rd down play. And Boren looks to be up and at it anyway.
And he gets right into that offensive line huddle to try to fire him up as he's got to come off the field.
You just cannot settle for another field goal here. Not only does it keep you behind on the scoreboard, but psychologically, it'll wear you down. You got to find a way to crack the code here and get into the end zone.
On this drive, they've converted a 3rd and 10 and a 3rd and 9. They want to get a 3rd and goal right now. Marshall crosses the field. Elliott leads the way. Touchdown, Ohio State. That one puts him right back in business.
Great job by the left side. Billy Price and Taylor Decker, the left guard and tackle. They get a double team inside, and then Decker moves off to the 2nd level. The new center, Elflein, gets a nice block, and Elliott able to run it into the end zone. Critical touchdown for Ohio State.
Nurnberger in for the point after. Up and good.
Everybody saw the points that Oregon scored, and you automatically think Marcus Mariota, and he had a great ball game. But that Oregon defense was pretty salty today against Jameis Winston and the Seminoles.
Christian Jones and DeAndrew White waiting on the kickoff. Jones runs up on it at about the 3-yard line. Try to get it to the middle of the field and goes down to the 10. Great coverage again. That's the 2nd time Corey Smith's made a big play on special teams tonight.
Perfect kick and great coverage. We'll go back to the Ohio State touchdown. I think Alabama was expecting pass, and the motion by Jalen Marshall is going to just kind of freeze these guys a little bit. They don't attack the line of scrimmage, and that enables Ohio State to get into their blocks and get the ball in the end zone. Alabama thinking pass on that 3rd down, and Ohio State hit them with the inside run for the critical touchdown.
Last couple of games for Ezekiel Elliott, how big has he been? 220 in the win over Wisconsin, the Big Ten title game, and 117 tonight. He I think gets overlooked a little bit when he came in with over 1,400 yards rushing, but that's because as Landon Collins is coming back out, you think about the Big Ten and some of the backs they have. Melvin Gordon, obviously, Wisconsin. Tevin Coleman from Indiana. David Cobb in Minnesota. Amir Abdullah in Nebraska. And Jeremy Langford, who had a huge game for Michigan State today. So many great backs in the Big Ten. Sometimes you get lost in the shuffle a little bit. Amari Cooper broke one tackle and then knocked out of bounds on the far sideline as we check in with Holly.
Great news for Alabama fans. Landon Collins standing here at the tunnel ready to come back out on the field. He's adjusting his shoulder pads. He's moving that right arm and that right shoulder just fine right now. Also another update, Jacoby Bourne, the center for Ohio State. They have taped up that ankle. It's been an injury that's bothered him previously this season. Looks like he's going to try to go.
Well, he's a tough dude. We'll see when they come back out on offense. But right now it's Alabama's turn with a 2nd down and 4. Derrick Henry with Blake Sims in the tied backfield. They fake it to him, throw out to Andrew White, who's dropped after maybe a yard gain by Lee.
Well, great play by Darren Lee. He had a hold of the ankle and didn't let go. If he doesn't make this tackle, DeAndrew White probably squirts forward for a 1st down. Darren Lee was blocked. He got a hold of the ankle and wouldn't let go and forces 3rd down.
Ohio State would love a stop here and the chance to get the football back if they can prevent a 3rd and 3. Blake Sims throwing the balls, hit his last 8 passes.
Well, here's Cooper right here. They've got him kind of protected.
It will be a pass. It will not be complete. DeAndrew White dropped it.
Yeah, he let it get to his body. Instead of catching it out in front with his hands, he let it get all the way to his body, and it bounced right off of his shoulder pads. Incomplete. Well thrown ball by Blake Sims. DeAndrew White just doesn't secure the catch.
Boy, it's been feast or famine for the Tide. They have 3 touchdown drives, and now they have 4 3-and-outs, and there's nothing in between. 4th down, and J.K. Scott to punt. He can let this one fly as long as he wants to. Again, a beauty. Fair catch called for way back at the 22-yard line by Marshall. Van at the tight end in motion. Jones, the play fake, fires, completes. Michael Thomas, he broke a tackle, and he got out around the 37-yard line.
Minute 24, plenty of time. Ohio State with 2 timeouts. You want to get that first down when you're working a 2-minute offense, either at the end of the half or end of the game. Getting that first down is critical.
And Michael Thomas still down after that reception.
124, 124.
Nice second effort. Went through the would-be tackle of Cyrus Jones.
Thank you.
And in doing so, you hope it's just cramps at this point. 124 left. Thomas redshirted last year and came in. Keyshawn Johnson's nephew as the leading receiver catch-wise for Ohio State this year. You mentioned Devin Smith's the big play artist of the bunch.
Well, he and Cardell Jones both spent the fall of 2011 at Fork Union Military Academy in Virginia. A 1-year prep school after high school. A lot of times guys go there if they need to mature a little bit, if they need to get their grades right. It's a very rigorous program, excellent football program as well, and both of them benefited from their time there.
So he started off cold. He's warmed up. Does have that costly interception that ended up turning into 7 points, but he's had some big 3rd down conversions on that last drive that led to Ezekiel Elliott's touchdown run, and he's all by his lonesome right now in the Ohio State backfield. J.T. Barrett looking on. Jones, plenty of time. Going to throw short underneath, complete. Corey Smith got to the 41. That's about all. Geno Smith made the tackle. And now we're down to 110.
Haven't seen the deep crossing route for Ohio State, something that they really like.
Again, an empty set. Cardell Jones loads, fires down the middle, complete inside the 45 to the 40 to Van at the tight end.
Clock will stop as they reset the chains.
Pickup of 19.
Again, Ohio State with 2 timeouts. Plenty of time here.
Landon Collins back in there, as Holly said, after coming back out of the Alabama locker room. 40 seconds left. Some valuable time being wasted. Jones steps up in the pocket. Now he's going to run with it straight ahead, and he's still running with it. Cardell Jones inside the 15. 27-yard rumble up the middle.
That's the 3rd time we've seen him scramble up the middle, and his size and strength gets out of the tackle of Ryan Anderson for the 1st down.
Now he's rolling right to throw, and just throws it away wisely to stop the clock with 19 seconds left.
Well, and I think what the bench needs to remind Cardell of right now is that they have 2 timeouts. They can't afford to lose valuable time like they did on that one possession or the one play a few plays ago. Manage the clock right now. He's got a lot on his plate, a lot in his mind right now. Very important that he manages the clock here in the final 19 seconds of the 1st half.
They're already in Nurnberger's field goal range, well within his field goal capabilities, although that's been a kind of a shaky spot this year for Ohio State. At the 13-yard line, 2nd down and 10.
They may have to use a timeout right here because the play clock was down. There was confusion in their formation, and they had to burn a timeout right there because of confusion.
Cardell Jones, though, we talked about 3rd down conversions on the previous drive. Talk about the biggest run of the night for him. It's going to be right here.
Well, watch his strength. At 6'5", 250, that's a defensive end, Ryan Anderson, and he runs right through that tackle and rumbles for the 1st down.
You know, there was a time about 5 minutes ago, Todd, where you looked at this and it was 21-6, and we kind of looked at each other and said, uh-oh.
Yeah.
And you got to give Ohio State credit. They have hung in, and not only hung in, they're going to cut this thing a little bit shorter before halftime.
Absolutely. And the critical thing was they found a way to get the ball in the end zone. If they would have had to settle for another field goal and only have 9 points on the board, it would have been devastating. They got it in the end zone. They got the good special teams coverage, and now they got a chance to add to their point total.
You would think they'd be sure to get 3, but they want more, if at all possible. With 19 seconds left, end around, and now a pass coming up. Spencer to the end zone. Thomas.
Did he get a foot down?
Yes, touchdown. Yes. Boy, did they ever do it with style, huh?
Well, Cyrus Jones is in perfect position. This is not a play that fooled Alabama, but the ball is thrown in the right spot. Did he get a foot down?
Wow.
I think he did.
There's his left foot. There's still some green showing before you see the chalk.
Wow.
What a catch and what unbelievable balance to stay in bounds.
What a catch, but what a throw by a wide receiver. Evan Spencer threw that ball in the only place that his guy could make a catch because Cyrus Jones was in perfect position to make a play on the ball. It had to take a perfect throw and an acrobatic catch on the other end.
Evan's dad, Tim, who was a great one in Columbus when he was a Buckeye, and his kid just lit up the crowd with that touchdown throw to Michael Thomas. Beautiful. 13 yards. And while they're continuing to look at it, it's 21-19 right now with 12 seconds to go.
I mean, Cardell Jones could not have thrown that ball any better. Evan Spencer put it in the only place he could.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Now this game has swung in the other direction.
What a call by Tom Herman, too. 19 seconds left in the half. They've had trouble in goal-to-go situations. They go for the trick play, and they pay it off with a touchdown.
I guess there's some thought that you might want to go for 2 here to try to tie it, but there's a lot of football left in the second half, so it's an extra point by Nurnberger coming up.
And Ohio State won the toss and deferred, so they'll get the ball to start the 3rd quarter with momentum.
Again, Michael Thomas kind of quiet in the 1st quarter. They fake the pitch to Marshall, and then Spencer on this beauty.
Ohio State with 348 yards of total offense in the first half against this Alabama defense. That's beautiful.
That is. 14 unanswered points in the last 2 minutes and 43 seconds. And it can change just that quickly. And now we got a ball game. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, Urban Meyer has long told us that Evan Spencer is a program guy that does everything right. He said he does so much for that. I trust him with everything. Coach really backing up those words, trusting him in a huge goal line situation right there to throw a pass. That really is everything for the senior wide receiver.
An outstanding blocker on the perimeter. Doesn't get the ball thrown to him that much this year. Only 14 catches coming in. But outstanding blocking on the perimeter, and in that case, can't throw it any better.
Nope. And once he let it go, he knew it. Kick high and short. Jones runs up on it at about the 17, and he'll get out to the 29, maybe the 30. But just 6 seconds remaining now.
I would expect Alabama to just take a knee here.
Check out the balance of yardage here. Ohio State way bigger in the total yardage category, but Alabama still bigger on the scoreboard. But remember, 14 of those points came off turnovers.
Right. And the field position up until the last couple possessions was really in Alabama's favor. They had short fields to work with because of the turnovers. Ohio State started taking care of the ball. They started covering kicks, flipped the field, and made this a close football game.
A 1-point football game at halftime. Great surge by Urban Meyer's Buckeyes in the final minutes of the second quarter.
More big plays, too, in that first half than Alabama was able to generate.
And Curtis Samuel will take a knee as we check in with Holly.
Well, Urban Meyer said it's a pretty obvious conversation. Don't turn the ball over. He said we can talk about the red zone and doing better in the red zone all day long, but the bottom line is don't turn the ball over. He thought his quarterback, Cardale Jones, really settled down later in that second quarter. He said that's what we need. We need to get that momentum back and just play calm and settled.
And let's see how he does with the opening possession of the third quarter.
Mentioned big plays, impact plays, runs of 10 yards or more, passes of 20 yards or more. Ohio State had 12 impact plays in the first half. Alabama only 2.
Jacoby Bourne, by the way, the tough guy, is back in at center. He's not going to miss this one. Jones, quick play fake and a slant complete for a first down. So his first pass of the third quarter is good for 11 to Michael Thomas, who made that sensational catch in the corner of the end zone before halftime.
Nice job getting off tight coverage. Pass was a little bit behind him, but a nice job by Michael Thomas reaching back to make the grab.
First down at the 36. Empty backfield for Cardale Jones. The throw, Thomas again from the other side this time. Short of a first down, but a good throw and catch. Cyrus Jones made the tackle.
See, throwing on early downs against Alabama is very smart because as big and physical as their defensive line is, they're not great pass rushers on early rundowns. Right out of the gate here in the second half, first 2 plays, Cardale Jones throwing the football.
Those tree stumps that Urban Meyer talked about, not great pass rushers. They're stout against the run, though. And here they're not. Elliott across midfield with a first down. And Bourne got all tangled up with Trey DePriest, the middle linebacker. So this is an impressive start in the opening minute.
Well, Ohio State has to be a very confident football team. They closed the gap. They scored right before halftime, and they come out of the gate here in the third quarter with positive momentum and positive yardage.
Pistol set here with Elliott behind Jones. Play clock down to 3. Blitz.
Here's the deep cross.
And a deep ball. And Smith in and out of his hands. Cyrus Jones was covering.
Well, Cardale Jones looks very confident. He's standing strong in the pocket. They run two guys off. You have the deep cross. Evan Spencer coming underneath. Not a bad chance going down the field against single coverage. Not able to make the connection, but they also had the crossing route with Evan Spencer coming underneath that.
Jalen Marshall in motion. They're going to flip it to him. They tried this one earlier. Whoa! And what a hit by Ragland.
And that's about the second or third time that he's been hit. Third time, and his helmet's come off.
And so he's coming out for another play. He's either better put that chin strap a little tighter,
or get a double buckle or something, because Ragland, that's 255 pounds coming full speed, knocks the headgear clean off.
And that's exactly what they're working on, is the chin straps to get him a little tighter. He's going to feel that one, though, for a few plays, I think. 3rd down and 8.
Ohio State 7 of 10 in that first half. Most of them long yardage like this.
5 out of 6 when it's 3rd and 8 or more. Jones waited to the last minute and let it fly, and he's got Devin Smith. Touchdown.
You got a flag down.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense number 47. That's 15-yard penalty. We're going to post on the kickoff.
And the Buckeyes have the lead.
Alabama went man coverage on that 3rd and long. They've been playing mostly zone on 3rd down earlier. They go single coverage, and Eddie Jackson fell down. And Devin Smith does what he does his whole career. Catch long passes for touchdowns.
That's his 30th. We mentioned those touchdown grabs average almost 38 yards. That one went 47. Nurnberger for the point after. And the Buckeyes are shocking everybody right now. 27-21.
3rd down and long. Cardale Jones has hurt them scrambling. Alabama goes man coverage. Eddie Jackson's okay. He's okay. And then he trips. And Devin Smith pays it off. And here's an interesting note. Devin Smith, coming into the game, had caught touchdown passes in 21 games. Ohio State 21-0 in those games. There's the face mask at the end of the play. That will be assessed on the kickoff.
Let's check in with Holly.
Well, Devin Smith is a unique athlete. He has that skill to catch those long passes, he thinks, because he is a world-class long jumper, or high jumper, excuse me. He was second in the Big Ten in the outdoor with the high jump. He said he has got this kinesthetic awareness of his body. He knows how to control his body in difficult situations. He said also my hand-eye coordination is exceptional. He watches a ton of film on himself in those long ball situations on how to do it better, and he has made it an art, guys. He said, I wanted people to know there's a number 9 in this game. It's not just Amari Cooper. My name is Devin Smith.
Not only that, he's fast, and he high jumped 7 feet and a quarter in what Holly said, in finishing second in the Big Ten. Actually jumped 7'1" as a high school senior. And he has lit up the crowd here, the Ohio State portion of the crowd anyway, as they're leading by 6 now. 21 unanswered points in the last 5 minutes and 11 seconds of clock time. And again, now the kick will come from the 50. And just kind of pooch it up high. Taken out the 11 by Jones. And he didn't even get to the 20. Here's an eye backfield for one of the first times tonight with Jalston Fowler, the fullback. They fake it to Yeldon, and Sims in trouble. Scrambles out of trouble. 1st down and a bunch more. And the ball came out of the end, but I think he's down. He is at around the 39-yard line.
Well, we've seen Cardale Jones do this for Ohio State. Blake Sims, 1st down pass. Protection breaks down. He goes right up the middle. Picks up a block from T.J. Yeldon. And a big gain.
Ohio State just barely got set defensively. Alabama's ready to go, and Yeldon takes it around the corner out to the 45-yard line.
Well, this
could have been a disaster.
Yep.
Ohio State had guys about 6 yards away from the line of scrimmage, and Alabama was getting ready to snap it.
One of the changes for this Alabama offense that Lane Kiffin brought, part of it was when he was the head coach at USC going against Oregon, up-tempo, no huddle. Nick Saban wanted to do it. Lane Kiffin decided to do it, and it's paid dividends.
Sims is leveled by Lee. Never had a chance to get rid of that football. This is an inspired group on both sides of the ball right now for the Buckeyes.
Well, TJ Yeldon is going to get tangled up with Austin Shepard. The tackle in the back, they both ended up on Bosa, and nobody picked up the extra guy. He should have been blocked by one of those two guys, probably TJ Yeldon.
The last thing Alabama wanted to do to start the third quarter was give up a touchdown to the Buckeyes and then have a situation like this, 3rd down and 8. Sims flustered again, down again. This time it's Michael Bennett.
Well, we talked about Ohio State being so good on 3rd down in the first half. Alabama was 1 for 6 on 3rd down. Make it 1 for 7 now. Good pressure by Michael Bennett. Spin move on the guard, Leon Brown. That's just great individual effort by an interior lineman rushing the quarterback.
One of the captains, a big fellow with a big play, and forces a punt. And this young guy's been sensational kicking the ball. Ohio State hasn't had a return man back. So he's kicking it to nobody. And it's going to take a great roll. Wow. Well, that flipped the field in a hurry. All the way down to the 5-yard line.
I mean, even if you're going for a punt block, you have one guy back.
I don't know what the deal was there, but they've gotten Ohio State pinned in their own territory with a 65-yard punt. We talked about the interesting situation at quarterbacks for these two teams before the game started. Blake Sims 10 out of 14 tonight, 17 of 29, 236 for Cardell Jones and only 60 for Blake Sims. He does have a touchdown pass, and Cardell has one touchdown pass, that long one, the 47-yarder to Devin Smith the last time they had the ball. He did have a costly interception that turned into 7. But, boy, he has started off 0 for 5. He's awake now.
And that's his M.O., throwing the ball down the field. And that has been the Achilles heel for this Alabama defense all season. The combination of the inability to have an outstanding pass rush and the inability to play consistently the deep ball in the secondary.
Elliott straight up the middle, got him a little room to work out around the 9.
A lot of game left. I think this is a critical possession right here for the Alabama defense. They have to try to get some momentum back on their side. They got the punt. I don't know if it was a mistake. I'm believing it was a mistake by the Ohio State return team to not have a guy back there. They pinned him deep. They've got to keep him here and try to get a 3 and out for their offense.
Second time that their punters put him at the 5-yard line tonight. So far they've moved it 4 yards further, and now Jones will keep it himself. And that big fella at 250 pounds might have just picked up the first down. It's going to be close. It is a first down.
You know, he's not a whole lot smaller than the guy he ran right behind, the center, Jacoby Board. I mean, he's almost as big as Jacoby. He's definitely taller than him.
Yep.
That's a load running up through there.
That was a big time run to get it out to a first down. And out the 15-yard line, he doesn't have to be standing on his own goal line to take the shotgun snaps. Back to Elliott. And Ezekiel across the 20 to the 22. Holly.
Well, Landon Collins had gone to the locker room before the half. He did come out and play in one series, but then he left early again, running to the locker room with the athletic trainer, Jeff Allen. He has come back out with a new wrap on that right shoulder. He is playing now, guys, but he is their most physical safety for Alabama, maybe their most important guy on defense. How does that shoulder affect his ability to get up there and hit guys?
Oh, for sure.
There's Devin Smith right here. Again, the deep threat guy in the slot. Difficult to cover him when he's in the slot.
Second down and 3. Play fake, quick throw. Intercepted. No, not quite. Cyrus Jones, boy, he jumped that route, and I thought he had another one, and he might have been off to the races to the end zone, but he couldn't hold it.
And They were dialed in on this one. Cyrus Jones looking at the quarterback the whole way, slips inside the block.
That would have been huge.
Wow.
Now it's 3rd down and 3. Shortest 3rd down they've had tonight, though. And they picked up 8 of their 11. Straight ahead. And again, the quarterback running over would-be tacklers.
They haven't called very many design quarterback runs because of their lack of depth at quarterback. But when they've called it, Cardell has responded. He scrambled on his own a few times. That was a design quarterback run to pick up a huge 1st down.
Of course, when Braxton Miller was quarterback, he was almost one of the best running backs in the Big Ten. J.T. Barrett, a shifty runner. And then the power of 12 gauge. Jones throws complete. Spencer. And he's out across the 40. Of course, Evan Spencer, if you missed it, had one of the huge plays in this game. An end-around pass. The first pass he's thrown in his life as a collegiate player was for a touchdown.
It's just interesting for me to watch Cardell Jones right now because the more this game goes on, the more comfortable and confident he looks.
He's not afraid to hang in there, is he?
Nope.
He's made some throws with some company with him in the backfield. This run's going to be stopped short on the 1st down. It'll bring up 3rd down and a long yard as Ezekiel Elliott getting helped up there, but got it to the 42. There's JT. Now they're trying to run it wide here, and that's not going to work either. Nice pursuit by Reggie Ragland to stretch it out, and it's a loss of 3.
Yeah, Ohio State tried to go with a quick snap. It was a little bit of a trick play using a wide receiver as a running back. They tried to quick snap it, and Ragland made a beautiful play. Fought off the block of Vanette, the tight end, and made the tackle for a loss of yardage.
That was a stop that Alabama desperately needed. And Ohio State's going to have to punt it away. As out comes Cameron Johnston.
They got the stop, but because Ohio State was able to convert a couple 1st downs in that drive, they're in pretty good position to punt this football away.
Christian Jones waits back around the 15. And the rugby-style punt. End over end. Jones is just going to get out of the way and hope it makes it to the end zone. But I don't think it did. It's at the 1-foot line, and it's Devin Smith. That's not the only thing he does is catch long touchdown passes. Starters play on special teams for these guys. Alabama deep in its own territory thanks to Devin Smith downing that punt at the 1-yard line. Ohio State a 6-point lead, and Bama at the 1. They've started some drives inside their own 10 several times this year. They do have 3 touchdowns, but they've got a couple of turnovers as well. They got a long ways to go to try to get the lead back here.
I wouldn't be surprised if they throw it on this 1st down play, even though they're inside the 1.
P.J. Yeldon is behind Blake Sims. They'll hand it to him, and he's cut down after a pickup of 1. Aaron Lee again. Boys made a lot of tackles, it seems, tonight, or some big plays. The redshirt freshman linebacker.
Alabama 2 possessions here to start the 2nd half. First one started on their own 19, and this one inside the 1.
Amari Cooper's been kind of quiet the last few possessions for Alabama. Sims about 3 yards deep in his own end zone to take the snap, and they're going to keep it on the ground, and Yeldon broke it out there for what looks like a 1st down.
He looked quick on that play too.
Yeah, he did.
Been bothered by a hamstring. They thought he would be 100% by now. Did not start the game, but he looked awful quick bursting through the hole on that one.
How about that block by Jalston Fowler that gave him the room to get out to the 12-yard line? Great look at it from above. Fowler's a very important key to this offense. Voted one of the captains. Senior out of Mobile. That's Derrick Henry back in at the tailback spot, and he'll get the toss with Fowler in front of him. Derrick Henry down the sideline. Big run by the big fella who has a touchdown tonight. And that time he picks up 21.
Well, they outflanked him. They brought the tight end, O.J. Howard, in motion. He got a block. They pulled the tackle, Cam Robinson. And then, as you mentioned, Fowler out there leading it. They got on the edge. They outflanked the Ohio State defense. And Derrick Henry, with that speed, got a big gain out of it.
All the way to the 33. So a drive that started at about their own 2-foot line has them a first down at the 33-yard line. That's Fowler in motion again. They fake the toss and a throwback to Fowler. Head-on collision there after a 4-yard pickup.
Pretty nice play by Blake Sims. It didn't gain a lot of yards, but when you run a bootleg like that, you got to get your head and eyes around right away in case there's somebody still there. Ohio State played it very disciplined, and he did a nice job, Blake Sims, of getting his eyes around and completing the pass.
And Fowler now comes out as a wide receiver. To the bottom of your screen, they'll give it to Henry, and he's going to lose a yard, maybe 2. Bennett and Washington in on the stop. Third downs tonight. Ohio State has owned it. Alabama has suffered because of it.
Well, and look at the average yards to go for Alabama. That's manageable distance, but a very poor average so far.
Yeldon back in there. He and Fowler switch places. Sims, quick throw, intercepted. Picked off by Steve Miller. Miller. Defensive lineman Dream. Touchdown. What else can happen in this game?
What a perfect call by Luke Fickell and Chris Ash. They anticipated on that third down play that Blake Sims would look for Amari Cooper on a slant. They dropped the defensive end on a zone pressure right in the way of that throw. They brought inside linebackers to rush the quarterback. They dropped the defensive end, and he was right in the throwing lane in front of Amari Cooper.
Nurnberger's extra point. Up and good. 3:21 remaining, third quarter. 28 unanswered Buckeye points in a game that looked like it was going to go sour in Ohio State's direction when it was 21-6, and now look what it is. And now the pressure's on the #1 team, the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Christian Jones from just inside the 5. Oh, and he got leveled again. Boy, the special teams have been special. That's 3 big hits by Corey Smith, the wide receiver playing on special teams.
You know, there's a physicality to this wide receiver group of Ohio State, and I don't think it's any accident, because Urban Meyer is an old school coach, and as he started as an assistant coach, he was a wide receiver coach at Illinois State, at Colorado State, at Notre Dame, before he became the head coach at Bowling Green. He's an old school physical football coach, and the wide receivers on this team are very physical.
This is the largest deficit this year. If you're wondering, the previous, they were down 12 in the Iron Bowl. Auburn, they came back to win that one. Now they got their work cut out for them again. Sims, deep sideline, nobody home.
Well, and Amari Cooper is showing some signs of frustration a little bit. You see him coming back to the huddle, trying to get on the same page with his quarterback. It has been a very quiet night for the Biletnikoff winner so far. He's had a few catches, but no big plays, and that has been rare for him, particularly in the last half of the season.
6 catches for 39 yards is all tonight.
He's had 3 games of over 200 yards receiving. Nowhere near that tonight.
2nd down and 10. Play action. Sims fires. This time he's got it complete to Amari Cooper on a 1st down. Pickup of 15.
Nice job using a stack formation. They have he and DeAndrew White kind of run off the line of scrimmage at the same time. Very tough to double cover a receiver like that in that kind of a formation. And Cooper with a nice catch.
Everybody has a look over to the Alabama sideline.
Ironically, you mentioned that Auburn comeback. It was after Blake Sims' 3rd interception in the game that things turned around.
Sidearms this one, middle screen, Derrick Henry. Henry broke a couple of tackles. Derrick Henry trying to outrace everybody all the way to the 15-yard line.
.6'3", 241 pounds, and explosive.
He goes 52 yards, and Alabama's back in the red zone. They actually spotted him down at the 17. T.J. Yeldon trying to cut back, looking for a block from his quarterback. And a stiff arm as he goes out at the 10.
Quite a response right now by Alabama and Blake Sims. That's been kind of the mark of him this year. One of the reasons why his team rallied around him so much, his resiliency. And this team showing some resiliency on this drive, trying to get back in the ball game.
Voted the most inspirational player on the team for Alabama. He's inspiring things right now. Yeldon. 1st and goal for the Tide at the 5.
Big Leon Brown, the right guard, with a nice lead block on that play.
They need another touchdown in the red zone here to tighten this game back up. 1st and goal. Alabama at the Ohio State 5. Sims play fake, lobs it for Vogler, and he couldn't handle it. A little too far out in front of his tight end.
Had to get it over the arms of Rashad Frazier, number 17, the defensive end who was rushing. Frazier, 6'4", not able to get that pass down enough.
And remember, Sims is only a 6-foot quarterback. Amari Cooper listening intently to his quarterback as he trots out to the top of your screen with Christian Jones.
Wouldn't be surprised to see a quarterback run design here.
Fowler, the fullback, is going to lead the way for exactly what Todd called. Touchdown, Alabama.
Two great blocks there. Kawanjo, the left guard. Jalston Fowler, who we've seen doing a great job as a lead blocker. And Blake Sims showing the resiliency that he has shown all season in his 1 year as a starting quarterback. Gets it in the end zone for the touchdown.
Adam Griffith, point after good. 5th-year senior out of Gainesville, Georgia, with a touchdown, and it's 34-28.
Nice execution on the touchdown run. A couple key blocks. Austin Shepard's going to get a block on the linebacker, McMillan. And then you're going to see the guard, Kawanjo, and the fullback both hit Rashad Frazier. He's not going to know what hit him because he gets double teamed here. First it's Kawanjo, then it's Fowler. And Blake Sims gets right in the hip pocket and takes it into the end zone. Impressive drive and nice resiliency shown by Blake Sims after the pick six to get Alabama right back within 6.
84-yard march in 7 plays. Just took him a little over 2 minutes to make it a 1-possession football game. Samuel's not going to bring out the kickoff. Nick Saban's Tide dominated college football during his 8 seasons, 3 national championships in 5 years, 09, 11, and 12, 7 straight 10-win seasons, which is an SEC record, and #1 in the Associated Press poll at some point in each of the last 7 years. Of course, the new college football playoff, they came into this one with the #1 ranking. #4 Ohio State has the lead. #2 Oregon took care of business in the Rose Bowl today over #3 Florida State. So we've got about 16 minutes to figure out who joins the Ducks in Arlington. Quarterback run all the way for Jones. Picks up 5.
I think the reason that Ohio State is doing this, even though they take the risk of getting their quarterback hit, I think Alabama came into the game not expecting many quarterback runs because of the depth issue. They knew if J.T. Barrett was there, that was a big part of Ohio State's offense. And Ohio State is recognizing that and calling Cardell's number more as a design run.
2nd down and 5 from the 30. Here comes a blitz off the corner. Elliott takes it the other way and got a couple before he ran into trouble from Trey DePriest and Reggie Ragland, the 2 linebackers. That might be the end of 3 here. Final 10 seconds. And what is a thrilling 81st edition of the All-State Sugar Bowl. 4th quarter of the All-State Sugar Bowl set to begin. With Todd Blackledge and Holly Rowe, I'm Brad Nessler, and this has been everything we hoped for and then some. Final quarter. 34-28. Ohio State with the lead. They're 9 out of 13 on 3rd down conversions tonight.
Cardell Jones is 5 of 7 throwing on 3rd down. All 5 completions have gone for 1st downs.
Elliott joins him in the backfield. He'll throw again. No, he won't. He's going to keep it. He's going to go down. Great play by Jonathan Allen on that defensive front for Alabama.
And I think that was by design to run. This was not a scramble. I think this was a design run because Ezekiel Elliott is leaking through to get a block on the linebacker, and it's just played beautifully by Jonathan Allen.
First team All-SEC, Allen, and a big-time play there to force the punt. Johnston's last punt traveled 60 yards. That was with the roll. This one end over end. Fair catch taken around the 26-yard line by Christian Jones. Blake Sims has led the Crimson Tide at 3 come from behind wins this year. October 11th at Arkansas, they were down 13-7 in the 4th quarter. He hooked up with DeAndrew White, a 6-yard score, gave Alabama the lead in the win. November 8th at LSU, Alabama game-time drive at the end of regulation. He hit DeAndrew White in overtime for that win. And then we mentioned this one earlier. They were down 36-27 late in the 3rd before he led the Tide to 28 unanswered points to come back and beat Auburn 55-44.
And again, that Auburn game, he threw his 3rd interception the first possession of the 3rd quarter. Auburn scored to go up by 12, and after that he settled down and led his team back. Similar situation here tonight.
Derrick Henry straight up the gut for about 7. Boy, at some point when you're a defensive player, you got to get sick of looking at number 27.
Well, and TJ Yeldon has played a lot here in the 2nd half, more than he did in the 1st half, and has looked good when he's been in the game.
2nd and 3, Henry again diving, and somebody's helmet came off in the middle.
Bennett.
It's Michael Bennett. He's shaken up as well.
Well, he made the tackle. He was the one who got the legs knocked out of Derrick Henry and lost his helmet. He'll have to come out for a play. He's looking for his helmet right now. He might be a little woozy.
I think he might have gotten Derrick Henry's knee on that helmet. Looks like it.
He's had a heck of a ball game.
Sure has.
You know, he has played well down the stretch in the Big Ten championship game. 4 tackles for loss. He forced 2 fumbles. When he's healthy and when he doesn't have to play 60 or 70 snaps in a game, he is really disruptive on the inside. And he's been a disruptor tonight.
Henry got the first down at the 36. Sims going to throw it out. Amari Cooper on the corner. And Cooper's close to another first down. May have it.
That's a play they stole right out of the Auburn playbook. Auburn ran this for a touchdown against them in the Iron Bowl in 2013. Quarterback run, but you've got that little bubble screen as an outlet instead of a pitch man. They react to the run. You throw it out to Amari Cooper, and you get another first down.
Alabama fans are saying we don't want to steal anything from Auburn except a win, but they did steal that play, and it's a first down at the 47. Sims pump fake once. Now he's in trouble. Trying to dance out of it. Somehow did. Blake Sims. Well, he's going to get planted by Darren Lee, but he made something out of nothing there.
Yeah, did a heck of a job to get out of trouble, but not able to throw the football downfield anywhere. Good pressure by Ohio State and Darren Lee, and we've called his name a lot. He's been very active tonight from his linebacker position.
So it goes down as a sack, the third of the night, with the loss of 2. Bennett's back in there. Sims under center. Blitz coming. He fakes it to Henry and rifles it far side, and it's incomplete, well short of Amari Cooper, who was covered by Eli Apple.
It's a long throw for Blake Sims from the left hash, throwing a deep comeback route to the right sideline.
He had been great on third downs, leading the country this year. That's not the case tonight. Not only that, it's the longest third down of the night for the Tide.
Right now, if you're Blake Sims, don't take any unnecessary risks. There's a lot of time left. You're 1 score down. You can flip the field if you have to punt. Don't force a bad play.
Middle screen to Henry, and he's going to be dropped by Curtis Grant, the senior middle linebacker and one of the captains. Nice play by Grant. Yeah, and with this punter they have, you never know. He's put a couple down around the 5-yard line tonight. Great leg for J.K. Scott, the freshman out of Denver. And he's only averaging 61.
Yeah.
Jalen Marshall will wait back inside the 10. And again, kicks it way into the lights here of the Superdome and almost mishandled. That would have been a disaster. Jalen Marshall gets his hands out there and snatches it right around the 8-yard line. Ohio State has 6-point lead. They've got the ball back here in the fourth quarter.
Cardell Jones in his second start has 18 completions, 243 yards. One of the ways he's getting some big plays is against the 2-deep coverage, finding that soft spot in the middle of those 2 safeties behind the linebackers. Usually it's been Jalen Marshall finding that spot. Know where the weakness is in the defense. Cardell Jones delivering the ball down the middle of the field.
And 153 of those 243 yards have been on third down. Third time they've had to start inside their own 10-yard line because of the punting of J.K. Scott. And he's hit. Jones down at the 4. DJ Petway got him from behind.
Xavier Dixon was coming in front of him. He did not feel Petway coming from behind. And for one of the rare times on a first down play, an outstanding pass rush by Alabama.
And luckily for Cardell, he held on to the football.
See, that's why it was so important to not make a bad play by Blake Sims. Punt the ball, put Ohio State in some duress deep in their own territory.
Elliott only to about the 5. Trey to Priest in the middle of that pile, along with Ragland.
Ragland's a little shaken up at the end of that tackle. He's had a heck of a ball game. Since he became a starter this year, he has really taken off.
junior out of Madison, Alabama. Todd mentioned the size of the linebackers. Ragland 254, DePriest 250, and Duvall 254.
Well, the problem right now is that Duvall is not 100%. Dylan Lee, another backup linebacker, is not 100%. There you see, just kind of led with the head and gets up very woozily at the end of that play. Reuben Foster is another inside linebacker who will probably be in this situation.
And they're taking Reggie to the locker room.
Ezekiel Elliott, who had such a big first half for Ohio State, 117 yards rushing in the first half, only 24 yards on 6 carries in the second half.
Third down and a bunch. Jones standing on his own goal line. Into the end zone to throw. Gonna go deep. Left side, out there and broken up by Cyrus Jones on a pass intended for Devin Smith.
Devin Smith looking for a call. Pretty well played by Cyrus Jones. I mean, that is living on an island if you're a cornerback. Man coverage, the wide side of the field, it's just you and him. And you know what a deep threat he is. And Cyrus Jones able to make a play on the football.
Little hand fighting going on between both of them. And now it's going to be a punting situation for Ohio State, and their punter is standing almost on his end line. As you look behind Cameron Johnston. This should be great field position for Alabama regardless of how he hits this one. Christian Jones, flags fly.
He didn't get the playoff.
Now he's really going to have a cramped situation back there.
Offensive 95.
He is running out of real estate back there. This is going to be a shorter snap than he would like to handle. I don't know if Alabama might try to come with the pressure up the middle or not.
I don't think you need to. You're going to get great field position no matter what Christian Jones does on this end. I think
and
they
another
moved.
flag's down.
I think Ohio State moved again.
He's going to be playing quarterback under center to kick this thing pretty soon.
You know, the unfortunate thing for Ohio State is they are in the Alabama end of the field. The majority of the Alabama fans are right down there, the Alabama band, right down where they're snapping this football in this part of the field. Very hard to hear.
You can see how close the line of scrimmage is to the punter now. Johnston got it out of there in a hurry. High kick, but short. Jones has to clear out of the way. It takes a bounce backward. It's going to be at about the 23-yard line. A 21-yard punt.
Sometimes that's the part of that rugby style kicking that comes back and get you that ball. You want it to spin back if you're kicking down towards the end zone, but you don't want it to spin back at midfield. An unfortunate bounce for Ohio State.
So here's the opportunity for Alabama at the Buckeye 23-yard line, trailing by 6 and almost to the red zone already without taking a snap. O.J. Howard, the tight end, comes out and lines up on the left side. We haven't seen anything from him tonight. And now Amari Cooper in motion. Sims rolls right, fires, intercepted by Von Bell. A wasted opportunity again for Alabama. Ohio State's got the ball back courtesy of Von Bell's 6th interception of the year. Trouble. Jones got out of it, or it would have been a safety. Still a loss of 4 with the sack.
Second time, Cardell Jones very close to a safety. If it weren't for his size and strength, he probably wouldn't have gotten this one out of the end zone, but he fights forward out of the end zone to avoid the 2 points for Alabama. Jerron Reed with the pressure from the inside.
Now he finds himself in his own end zone again to take the snap. On 2nd and 14, throws low. Is it caught?
No, it bounced.
Intended for Evan Spencer.
The other thing you have to be careful of, there hasn't been a holding call on Ohio State, but when you're throwing from this part of the field and your quarterback is in the end zone, you don't want to get a holding penalty resulting in a safety either.
3rd down and 14. There's his 3rd down passing that we talked about. But this is a big one here. Gonna roll to throw. That one's caught, but it's well short of the 1st down.
I don't think that one was caught either.
I guess not. So Ohio State's right back in the situation they were earlier, having a punt with the line of scrimmage inside the 10. That's 3 straight 3-and-outs for the Buckeyes offense. Remember, last punt only went 21 yards with a backward bounce. See what Johnston does this time.
Oh, they hit him. There's a flag.
Oh, boy. And Jones is buried on the other end.
The last time they did not go after him. They set up a punt return. It was a short punt, and they got great field position. This time they came after the punter Johnston and ran into him. Now, is it 5 yards or is it more?
Whoop, there goes the headset.
That would suggest it's not personal foul. If it was a personal foul, I think he'd still have the headsets on.
Here's the call upcoming from Lant Clark.
Running into the kicker, defense number 24. That penalty is applied. 1st down.
So the line of scrimmage will be the 45-yard line with 8:46 remaining in the football game, and Alabama trailing by 6. Another look at the penalty. And Urban Meyer's reaction. And the All-State Sugar Bowl here in New Orleans. I want to bring in Bill Lamagna, our rules expert, on that last play on the running into the punter call that infuriated Urban Meyer. Bill?
Well, we had the kicker displaced on this. He wasn't roughed. He hits the upper leg. Kicker spins on this and goes down. He kind of put a little accent on it with the spin, but he was only displaced, not roughed.
There's the little demi-plie, whatever you call it.
And now the headset's going to get displaced.
I don't know where that went. That baby's out there someplace. And Alabama at the 45-yard line. Andrew White in motion. Fake the stretch play, and Sims wants to throw, and now he's going to run with it. Gets what he can and gets out of bounds right about midfield.
Well, after Blake Sims' first interception that was returned for a touchdown, he responded with resiliency and brought his team back for a touchdown to cut the lead to 6. He threw his second interception when they had a golden opportunity to take the lead after the poor punt. Let's see how he responds this time. Again, that's been his MO all season, is resiliency, and that's why his teammates have rallied behind him so strongly throughout the year. Play clock down to 5 right now. Alabama might have to burn a timeout. There it is.
And they do take a timeout, so they've only got 2 left.
Timeout. Alabama.
That one interception that was returned for a touchdown by Steve Miller. That's the first pick 6 thrown by an Alabama quarterback since 2007. That's the one that's the difference in the ball game right now. There's the difference in the ball game. Yep. Defensive lineman interception return for a touchdown.
Fellow Canton, Ohio native, played at Canton McKinley for the Bulldogs.
The football right at the midfield stripe. Derrick Henry got a first down inside the 45.
I think Alabama will go back to being very fundamental here. Try a little smash mouth football, some play action off of that. The last interception Blake Sims threw, they were trying to go a little bit tricky and fool the Ohio State defense, and it backfired on him. It didn't fool Von Bell, and they ended up throwing the interception at the 1-yard line.
Derrick Henry now closing in on that 100-yard mark as well. Ezekiel Elliott all well over that for Ohio State. Here's Henry and a nice cutback. Got close to the 41.
We talked about early in the ball game that Urban Meyer said to us he loved his preparation. He felt great about his team. His only question was, are we good enough? I think that question has been answered very well. They are definitely good enough to not only be in this game, to win this game, or to potentially play for a national championship this year.
Straight drop by Sims on 2nd and 7. Pressure coming from Bosa. He runs away from him, but only got to the 40-yard line.
Nice job on Amari Cooper. They had Eli Apple in coverage with a safety, Von Bell over the top.
Well, 4 straight runs, but you got to think that they're going to have to put one in the air here on the season. 3rd in the FBS tonight, 1 for 9. 3rd down and 6.
You bring the tight end out here to hopefully draw coverage by a corner right here.
Cooper up on top. Quarterback draw. Sims loses yardage. Darren Lee again.
Darren Lee has played a heck of a ball game. He's coming on the blitz. He reads it, and he falls back in to make the tackle on the run. Read quarterback run immediately and made the nice play.
Well, it's 4th down, but the good news is if you're an Alabama fan, number 15 has dropped 3 inside the 10 tonight, including 2 at the 5. Alabama was a man short on their punt team. Scott, high kick again, bounces down inside the 5 again.
Wow. This guy's done a little bit of everything. You know, he's boomed the long ones, and he's shown the finesse kick as well.
5:24, time becoming a factor in this All-State Sugar Bowl.
Now, how important is field position? Ohio State's last 3 possessions, they've started at their own 9, 8, and 5.
And there's their 4th quarter offense. Minus 12 yards, no first downs. Alabama's hoping they can keep that statistic intact right here. Again, Jones at his own goal line. Gives it off to Elliott. And Ezekiel goes for about 4 as we check in with Holly.
Well, linebacker was already positioned on this Alabama defense that had very little depth. It's a concern of their team, and so they have now lost 2 linebackers in this game, guys. Reggie Ragland just came out of the locker room in street clothes. He will not return. They previously lost Dylan Lee to a shoulder injury. He's in street clothes, so they're down to Reuben Foster and Sean Dion Hamilton in the game right now with Denzel Duval.
And Dion Hamilton's a true freshman. Jones, empty backfield's going to run with it. Across the 10. Puts the power into Cyrus Jones, but Jones got him on the ground. Picked up 5. And Cardell's a little bit slow getting up after that run. 3rd down and 1 coming up. We're down to 4.5 minutes. 1 possession game. Ohio State's missed their last 4 3rd down conversions. This is a short one, though. I'm not sure I wouldn't run him again.
I'm not so sure I wouldn't give it to 15.
Just got it. And Landon Collins shaken up again. Remember, playing with a bad right shoulder or upper arm, whatever. And he's on the turf again.
On the last 2 plays, as they take a look at Landon Collins, Cardell Jones has gotten hit pretty hard. Collins hit him on this one, and then he got hit again by Nick Perry, the other safety.
And that run by Jones is the 4th time tonight that he's rushed for a 1st down on a 3rd down situation. Only needed 1, and he got a little bit more than that. He's trying to get a quick breather here. And Collins, well, he bounces up and bounces to the sideline to see if he comes back in after 1 play. That 1st down for the Buckeyes, that's the first down they've had since there was 8 minutes left in the 3rd quarter.
And it was huge because the clock is on their side. Alabama with 2 timeouts. They're not in the area yet where they need to think about using them. But that conversion bought Ohio State some valuable time. Right now, Ohio State using as much of the clock as they can. The clock restarted after the injured player, Landon Collins, was taken off. And they can run about 20 seconds off the clock here.
Ezekiel Elliott, and he's got an opening. Elliott off to the races. Can they catch him? No, they can't. Touchdown. Yards. The longest play from scrimmage allowed by Alabama this year. Career high night for Ezekiel Elliott, and they'll go for 2 here. And it's good to Thomas, and it's a 2-touchdown lead.
Brad Holly talked about the lack of depth at linebacker. Sean Dion Hamilton, the freshman, that's him right here. Evan Spencer, we've already said he's a thumper as a blocker at the wide receiver. Watch the block he gets on the freshman linebacker. Key block in the play. Ezekiel Elliott gets behind that block. Billy Price gets a block on the safety, Nick Perry, and then the speed of Ezekiel Elliott does the rest. Evan Spencer has thrown a touchdown, and he just threw the block that may have secured the Sugar Bowl for Ohio State.
The last 2 games for this young man, 40 carries, 450 yards, a career high of 230 right now. And he had a 54-yarder earlier in the game. This one takes the cake, 85 yards for the touchdown. Going into the Big Ten championship, people wondered if the Buckeyes even belonged in the college football playoff. Then they took care of the Badgers 59-0. And right now they're up 42-28 on #1 Alabama.
Let's go, baby.
And now Alabama urgently needs offense. Or maybe a big play by Christian Jones here. Jones got to the edge. They'll drag him down, but a nice return out to the 35, and he's hurt. He almost got the seam he needed and then run down from behind, and it's his lower right leg.
And you can see that right ankle already heavily taped.
Yeah, he pops up and will head to the sideline, but a nice kick return. And you see that ankle getting twisted around as he's dragged down.
How about Ezekiel Elliott the last half of the season? First 8 games, he averaged 88 yards per game. He got better. The offensive line got better. And down the stretch, he's been as good as there is in the Big Ten and maybe in college football running the football.
And right now, he's got an All-State Sugar Bowl rushing record. Here's a throwback and over the head of O.J. Howard. They tried to get a kind of a tight end screen over here, and that didn't work.
Steve Miller was reading that all the way.
Miller, of course, had the big play, the 41-yard touchdown off the interception. That gave Ohio State the cushion, and then Ezekiel Elliott, and a 2-point conversion has made that cushion bigger. And Alabama, remember, used one of their timeouts earlier. They only got 2, and we've only got 3:12 left in the fourth quarter. They need some big plays. Sims trying to get him one. Going long. Got White out there. DeAndrew White to the 15-yard line.
Boy, how do you let this happen? You got a 2-touchdown lead. You react to the double move. Watch the second move here. The safety jumped it. That was Tyvis Powell. And that's just a no-no in this situation. If you're Ohio State, nothing can get behind you. Keep everything in front. And a big opportunity here for Alabama with 2:48 left in the game.
A 51-yard pass play down to the 14-yard line. Sims again. Trying to throw a middle screen, and that one ran into some traffic. Adolphus Washington might have gotten a hand on it. It was intended for Derrick Henry.
The only good thing about that play for Alabama is the incomplete pass stopped the clock.
Exactly.
Because it wasn't going to go anywhere.
A.T. Barrett, who was the starter the majority of the season up until he broke his ankle. And Cardale Jones, who's been very good tonight. Sims, and he throws this one away. Amari Cooper was the closest guy.
Well, he threw it away because he knew Joey Bosa was coming free. Joey Bosa, who hasn't had a lot of activity in the backfield but has played a solid ball game, that time was very close to getting his hands on the quarterback. And
Blake Sims is only 1 out of 5 on third downs tonight. He's got a bunch here. This is 2-down territory, though, so they don't need all 10 right now. They've missed their last 7 third-down conversions. They're in desperate need of a conversion here. First down would come at the 4-yard line. Sims fires wide side, completes. And a big hit over there at the 5-yard line on Chris Black by Von Bell. And let's see where they're going to spot it.
4th and about 2, it looks like.
Yep. And that's exactly what it'll be.
And get this play in a little bit quicker if you're Alabama. You're 2 scores behind.
And 2:15 and the clock running. Could be ball game here if they don't get this. Sims throws, caught by Cooper, touchdown.
Ohio State was trying to call a timeout. Luke Fickell was trying to call a timeout from the sideline, and they couldn't get it done. The ball was snapped, and Blake Sims is able to find his main guy, Amari Cooper, for the touchdown.
Desperately in need of a touchdown. They got it. Capping a 65-yard quick strike in 1 minute and 17 seconds and 6 plays. Adam Griffith, an all-important point after is good. Wow, what a game. 1 minute 59 to go.
4th down and 2. Luke Fickell doesn't like what he sees. He wants to get a timeout called. He's trying to get a timeout called. And that big 2-point conversion by Ohio State after their last touchdown.
Yeah.
Keeping this a 7-point lead. It was a 6-point lead for quite a while.
Alabama hasn't attempted an onside kick this year. It looks like they're going to try one here. Might be different if they had all 3 of their timeouts, but I guess they're going to take a shot at it here. Griffith gets the go-ahead. Here it comes. Took a high bounce. A second bounce. Tipped. And I think Evan Spencer caught it.
Wow. And he went high to catch that one. That looked like the perfect onside kick. The high bounce, and Evan Spencer showed nerves of steel, gauging this and timing his jump and catching it at the high point.
Wow. He out-jumped Ardarius Stewart, number 13, pulled it down, and so now 2 huge plays by number 6 in this ball game. An end-around pass from his wide receiver position to Michael Thomas, and now that play.
And the block on Ezekiel Elliott's long run. He's had a heck of a ball game.
.157 to go. Ohio State by a touchdown. Cardell Jones takes the snap. He's actually going to throw. And he's going long. Knocked away. And it's Spencer, the intended receiver, and Cyrus Jones is with him stride for stride.
Well, and no time used virtually on the clock.
Now the 7 seconds it took to run the play, but that's it.
Double move. Cyrus Jones stride for stride with Evan Spencer. And a nice play on the ball.
That pass surprised me a little bit.
A little bit. I understand you want to try to end it, expecting Alabama to sell out. But if you're going to do that, why not do it to Devin Smith? He's your deep threat guy, not Spencer.
And now Ohio State's got to use the timeout and no more time off the clock.
Ohio State, the first of the half.
Let's take a look at tonight's Capital One pivotal performance. You can't have a performance much better than this guy's put on for us tonight. This 54-yard romp down the sideline, including that hurdle job. They didn't get a touchdown out of that, but they did get points. He scored in close. And then proving he is one of the best backs in the Big Ten, if not the country. Going to look up at the scoreboard to see if anybody's chasing him. Nobody's going to catch him. 85 yards for the touchdown.
You know, the other thing, Brad, about why that call was curious on first down. With 2 timeouts, now Alabama can stop the clock after 2nd down and after 3rd down. And Ohio State can't bleed the clock.
This is going to be a run by Curtis Samuel.
There's a timeout right away.
And you see Trey DePriest call it immediately.
Timeout. About the second of the half. Please reset for 1:45. 1:45.
There's Kirby Smart, defensive coordinator on the sideline, and he, of course, and Nick Saban work together so hard on that defense, and right now they need defense.
Yeah, they need one more stop here.
Yep.
And they've got the 1 timeout still in their pocket because of the incomplete pass on first down. So they got to play solid and fundamental. They can't sell out and leave a big gap in the second level of their defense if Ohio State runs the football here. Get a stop, get a timeout.
If Cardell Jones makes one more big play, it might be the play that ends the football game and sends them to Arlington for the national championship. The Ohio State fans that are here praying that they can find a 3rd down and 9. The Alabama fans thinking the opposite, and it's Jones going to run for it, and he's backpedaling, and that's about the last thing you want to happen.
Well, and Nick Perry tried to strip the ball. Cardell Jones got a little too cute on that one, and when he reversed field, it's a good thing he was protecting the football because Nick Perry was coming for the strip.
Leds, that's about a 10-yard difference, and that's going to make a big difference on what or where this punt lands.
Yep.
So the line of scrimmage now is the 39 when once they had it at the 49.
Alabama will have no timeouts, but a decent amount of time. The question is now, do they go after this punt?
They ran into him last time.
Yep.
Christian Jones is waiting back inside the 20-yard line. He's had moments in his Alabama career when he's come up and pulled off a big punt or kick return for a score.
Setting up the return.
And he has to call fair catch. So Alabama takes over around the 16-yard line, trailing by a touchdown and no timeouts. There's the Biletnikoff winner that you said 3.5 hours ago. It helps as a quarterback if you got somebody like him.
What Blake Sims cannot do here is take a sack.
Throws complete to Howard, the tight end. That's his first catch, but they keep him inbounds. Clock will continue to move. Sims trying to get him lined up in a hurry. Valuable time ticking off that clock.
I don't know why you didn't have 2 plays called there at the line of scrimmage.
This time they go to Black, and he got leveled, and the ball is out.
Oh, they called it complete?
Clock ticking under a minute. 3rd down, that's irrelevant.
Alabama's moving way too slowly here.
Sure are. Sims slants it. DeAndrew White's got it. That'll stop the clock to move the chains momentarily, but they've only got it out to the 38-yard line.
Now you either got to move fast here, or you got to kill the clock here and huddle up. But whatever it is, you got to do it with a sense of urgency.
They're losing time here. Down to 33 seconds. Sims in trouble. Can't take the sack. As Todd said, he's going to run for it. Got to get to the sideline. Well, at least got to midfield, and that will stop the clock to move the chains.
I think you need to clock it here.
Up.
I think you need to line up and spike the football and get in a huddle and call play.
Clock hasn't started yet. Now it has. At the midfield stripe. 20 seconds to play. Sims throws wide side. Howard's got it. He gets out of bounds.
Just as good.
15 seconds remaining.
Again, the difference between this and the LSU game, they just needed a field goal to tie and force overtime. To force overtime here or have a chance to win, they got to get it all the way to the end zone.
Amari Cooper comes out to the bottom of your screen. 15 seconds to play. No timeouts for Alabama, trailing by a touchdown. Pressure coming. He's going to air it out long. Floats in the air and almost caught by DeAndrew White, but broken up by Eli Apple. And now 8 seconds is all we've got left.
I'm not sure why you're not throwing this in the direction of Amari Cooper. I mean, if he's the best receiver in college football and I'm going to throw the ball up and give somebody a chance, I'm going to give number 9 that chance. No disrespect to DeAndrew White, but the guy who came into the game with 115 catches should get the ball targeted to him here.
Maybe the last play. Sims. Deep. Hail Mary. Not answered. Intercepted. Ohio State's going to win it. The dream continues for the Buckeyes. The nightmare starts for #1 Alabama. They are no more. Two old rivals, two of the best in the business. And the Buckeyes with the upset in New Orleans.
Alabama was left with a Hail Mary. It was all they had time to do. I didn't think they managed the clock very well early in this possession. And on the final play, Tyvis Powell comes down with the football.
The 13th win of the season for Ohio State in dramatic fashion in what is an instant classic. Ohio State over Alabama. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, Coach, you said the challenge of this game was, are you good enough? What did your team show you tonight to answer that question?
We're good enough. And a lot of respect for our opponent. That was a sledgehammer game, man. That was a classic. So, really, we are good enough.
I saw you walking down the sideline, 8 seconds left, and look up like, whew. What were you thinking with that ball in the air?
I just want to make sure that we're giving our kids a chance to win and close the middle of the field because you got the best receiver in college football. We just want to make sure we get some hands on him. So a job well done.
It's your third string quarterback. I don't want to minimize Cardale Jones, but how are you continuing to do this despite all the adversity?
Quarterback's product of those around him. And got some good players around him. Future's bright at Ohio State.
Ezekiel Elliott, a night for the ages. What stood out to him?
Wow, he's probably the most underrated back in the country, and against that defense, I'm not sure what he ran for, but it was a lot of yards.
Career high.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Career high and a Sugar Bowl record for Ezekiel Elliott. And we've got the trophy presentation as well as the Ford postgame coming up next. Thrilling win for Ohio State. Big day for the Big Ten as well. Final score, Ohio State 42, Alabama 35.